Your information. Total Spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat my graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you about today? Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon Entertainment. Okay, folks, while I wait to welcome you. Pleasant good evening to all of you across the world. Those of you who make up time every time to join Spoon Talk. It's great to be back. Welcome to Liberia's most listened to show on radio and most followed show online. The Spoon Talk is live tonight on Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5 FM as well. My name is Nelson Colel, and let me welcome James Goode Flomo, who is already here. Let me say good evening to you, James. It's a great one to be back.
Yeah, good evening, Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good, and I'm glad to be here again. I see Dr. Richardson has joined us. Good evening, Dr. Richardson.
Nelson, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good.
Good day.
I'm doing well, and
yeah, I'm managing.
That's good. Well, we're here again today. We're back.
I'm not 100, though I'm not 100%, but I'm managing.
Yeah, you don't look well.
Yeah, feeling pain through here.
Get some Tylenol.
Yeah.
Pepper soup too.
They make it stay cold. They make it stay cold to game pull down.
You brought Vicks with you when you're coming? I think they got Vicks in the pharmacy there too.
Yeah, the Africans too.
Okay, good. Yeah, get some. That should help. Nelson looks like he's frozen.
No, I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So we're here again today. You know, I want to welcome all Liberians and passionate lovers of Liberia who are watching us and make time, like you said, Nelson, to join us, to engage in this spirited, diverse conversation that we always have. We come with different views, we all wouldn't share the same views as to how to develop Liberia or what is right or wrong for Liberia. But the goal is to, present the views, impart knowledge, and then you can take the knowledge, marinate it, process it, see what makes sense for you and for our country and for the future generation, and of course, move on. We're not here to fuss with anybody. We're not here to make plow with anybody. We just want to present the views. People got different ways of presenting the views. Me, I like facts. I like data because my reputation is on the line when I'm here. As someone who's been in the classroom setting for a long time, my students are watching, and I can't say stuff like then I go to class and I go, Dr. Richardson, you said this, and you always try to tell us to reference everything that you say or write. So why are you saying this? So I have to definitely come with supporting documentation for how I speak. So, other people don't have to do that. They don't have the same obligation. But our job here is to provide the information to you. Nelson, you want to tell the Liberian people what is happening in our country? I tried looking at the different newspapers as I usually do. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you know. And then, of course, good day as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of things happening in the country. Oh,
Yeah, camera gone off.
oh, okay. Sorry. A lot of things happening in the country. So many things happening now. Following the event in Buchanan over the weekend, talking about the Liberty Party and Unity Party event. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence officially endorsing the Waka Coons ticket. There has been mixed reactions regarding that. Well, this morning, the Secretary General of the CPP, who is also the Secretary General of the Liberty Party, Mr. Martin C. Kula, made an appearance on our one of our programs, the New Dawn of Fabric, online, and then he said he went on to first of all cautioned the Unity Party and all other political parties to avoid doing business with the Yomli Kanga Lawrence's faction of the Liberty Party. According to him, those within that particular cycle, that faction of the Liberty Party, they are not respecters of the law. Everything they're doing now is in violation of the law, and so he's cautioning every other political party to avoid doing business with them. And he was specific when it came to the Unity Party. According to him, the action of the Unity Party to still be doing business with that faction of the Liberty Party is something that is going to haunt the Unity Party in time to come, because if they were to have a second round situation, it's going to be difficult to have a negotiation or some sort of discussion on the table. Well, that's one of the things I just thought to chip in. Now, on the flip side, something happened today that a lot of people have been talking about. The MDR expelled 3 of its officials from the party for breaching the constitution, the law of that institution. So the 3 individuals that were expelled today, I just let me just go quickly to it. The 3 individuals that were expelled today are: number 1, you have Mr. Wilfred Bangura, you have Lawrence Yelu, and then you also have Representative Gompo Kagon. Those 3 individuals were expelled for openly supporting President George Weah. And now, according to the MDR, following the allegation, they set up their own team to investigate the information that they received with respect to those individuals supporting President George Weah, despite being members and officials of the MDR. And following their investigation, they then established that those individuals were indeed they are indeed supporting President George Weah. So they then expel them. But Dr. Richardson, following this report, one thing I've noticed is that there has been misreactions. Some Liberians are trying to compare this action to that of what happened with Councillor Cooper Crowd. So there have been misreaction on that. But that's just one of the happenings in the country right now that a lot of people are talking about. And then,
Expulsion, jerk.
yeah.
I said expulsion, see expulsion.
Yeah, explosion ha. One of the
Yeah,
explosions
exactly.
were ha.
There we go.
Yeah. So now following the naming ceremony of Ambassador Joseph Boakai when Senator Jeremiah Kuhn was being named as the running mate, there is some there has been this discussion and in several quarters, especially those from the other side who do not support this ticket. Uh, some have been doing it out of joke. Some say it's a very expensive joke. But there has been this discussion that, oh, okay, so you guys know Senator Prince Johnson and he's associated with Senator Kuhn, so XYZ, probably something is going to happen and so forth. But today, I don't want to be too exact on that aspect, but today, the MDR Youth League, as part of their conference, they dismissed the term as misleading information they say coming from the CDC Youth League that Senator Prince Johnson is planning to 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 I'm looking for the best choice of word to zero Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai in the case where they were to go to election and they won the election, Senator Kuhn being vice president and so forth. According to them, the CDC Youth League have been running with an information that Senator Prince Johnson has some motive or has some intention
Was
of
you even give them
zeroing.
an ingredient?
Yeah, so they termed that as misleading today, and they sent out a caveat that if any information of such ever come from the CDC Youth League, they will experience the other side. Yeah, so that's one aspect. Talking about some of the trending issues in the country. Now, on the flip side, the World Health Organization donated 2 ambulances today to the Ministry of Health. The vehicles are intended to help support the operations of the oxygen plant here in Liberia. So those are just a few of the many things happening in the country. Maybe James will want to come in.
Awesome, Nelson. Thank you so much for updating Liberians. If you're just joining us, you are watching Spoon Talk, and we are providing you with the recent news and trending news in Liberia. Nelson just completed his summary of what is happening in the news today. We're going to switch over now to Good Day. Good Day, you have anything to add on?
Yeah. Yeah, today, basically, I don't know, my screen going white. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you and hear
Yeah, my
you.
entire screen turned white.
But we can see you, so the audience can see you. Just be careful what you say or do. That's all. We can see you very
Yeah,
well.
I think it's okay now. I'm seeing you too. It's okay now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like what Nelson talked about, where you have folks within the opposition community and the government accusing Unity Party of, working with alleged war criminals or so forth. We also identify some of them among both the government and the opposition, like the likes of Daniel Nathan and others. You have them supporting the ANC and the CDC. And today we saw workers welcoming their leaders on Capitol Hill. The party, I don't know why they are so desperate for supporters. I don't know where the desperado coming from. We saw folks who are working with lawmakers that have crossed carpet to Joseph Yuma Boakai, welcoming their political leaders and those who also today said they are going to support Joseph Yuma Boakai. Their workforce was also the some of them. So today, that happens to be one of the biggest news coming from Liberia. But I said, if I were to write a headline for newspapers today, that was going to take the back of the newspaper. It was never going to take the front page of my newspaper because it is not a news. All those who endorse, about 99% of them are members of the opposition working in the offices of those lawmakers who were there and some who were not there, but they are members of the rescue team. We saw a little over, maybe we can put it at 100 or maybe 120. We can put it there. We saw them today, quote unquote, saying they are welcoming Rescue Mother and Rescue One. We saw the likes of Copa passed away, who is also a very strong member of the of the UPC. They are endorsing. How can a pass away endorse Unity Party again? How can a Lasana, who is working in the office of Senator Dillon, endorse Joseph Yuma Boakai and Kuntiki if
They're
you're
making
not
fun
playing
of
with
like
them?
people.
If you are not playing with the minds of the people, how can a Daniel Sano endorse the UP? They call themselves legislative starvers. Today, they you know I don't. I lack of word. I want to use an adjective, but let me save it for another day. I want to use an adjective, but let me save it for another day. Quote unquote, they endorsed GNB today. We saw them. We saw several of them yesterday endorsing Senator Dillon during his two elections, 2019 and 2020. We saw uh, legislative staffers endorsing him. Yes, that was very welcoming. But today, I think it was just a showmanship, maybe to bring in our Liberian setting, we would say to bring AMC hat. Yeah, maybe they were just doing it to tease them, to say GMB has supporters. But again, they play total fun out of themselves today. They say they were endorsing GNB because they are the very many things within the Unity Party. I can identify over 70 of them who are my friends. Yeah, who we talk on a daily basis. When I was in Liberia, we interact on a daily basis and we discuss ANC, we discuss the Unity Party. Their leader is also a member of the Unity Party. He used to be a part of the ALP. What's his name? Charles Brown. I think you interviewed him here before on the show, Brown, who contested on the Unity Party ticket this going election in Bombing County. So completely Unity Party achieved nothing today. It is not an endorsement. It was workers welcoming their bosses back to work. Yeah.
Okay, good day. Anything else, or is that it for the moment?
They made our thing look like the most important news today. And President Weah again, Liberia is becoming when elections are close. I don't know why people tend to use our brethren back home like they are tools. I'm sorry to say. Uh, Maybe on this show you heard about it. You heard people saying, I'm calling from the Purple Defender headquarters or so forth." President Weah won the 2017 election and got inaugurated in 2018. Since 2018, January 22nd, President Weah did not pick his phone to call those guys to say, "Hey, thank you for defending my administration." He did not call them from the 22nd of January, just a day after my birthday, till the 16th of May. It was today that he met with them. He met with these people. Uh, he met with them today at his entertainment center,
Oh,
where
entertainment center. The president got
President Weah's
entertainment.
President Weah's entertainment center,
Where's that?
Jamaica.
Okay.
I've been to Jamaica. Jamaica is a complete entertainment center. I've been
Oh,
there. Yeah,
okay.
I
I
went
have not.
there. I think about 2 years ago, the year end, when the year was coming to an end, I think 2021, the ending part of 2021, he met with media folks there.
Okay.
I was part of that team that went there.
So
It
they,
is
they,
a
they,
complete.
they blocked the road. So ordinary citizen like me
Yeah, oh,
can't.
no, you can't just enter there. Even
Yeah,
when we went there, it
yeah.
was
I wanted to
based
go
on
see, but
invitation.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted
you
to go
can't
see
just.
for myself. There were two places I wanted to see, and I thought it would have been, a learning opportunity or historical site. You know, the way he built those apartments in Cinco and the place that he just moved, and also Jamaica Resort when I was in Liberia. But
Yeah,
they told me that I couldn't go near it. It was blocked off with high
no, you can't. Don't try
high
it. The day
vegetation.
you go there, for your own safety, don't keep fasting around there.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you can't enter. The place is a complete entertainment center. You have bar, you have basketball court, you have volleyball court. You Yeah, you can name whatever you think about entertainment. They have everything in a laid tack place. So today the president had a meeting with them, and at the end of the day, he gave them one push and stop pickup. He gave them one push and stop pickup as an appreciation for them. So
J, J,
again,
How,
yeah,
J,
how many
J,
people
J,
attended?
come again.
How many persons attended? Do you know, like roughly?
Roughly, they were above 50. Yeah, but the group has over 100 members. The purple
One
defenders.
pickup for over 100 members.
Yeah, not even correct pickup.
I didn't know they got that pushing stuff,
I
man.
saw the pickup, bro. Yeah, I saw the pickup. So the president met with them. That is why I said when elections come in, our brethren back home, the youth, I don't know how politicians can take them to be. They just do whatever they want to do, and it is happening from every side. The ANC, the Unity Party, the CDC, the Tiawan Gonglo. You can name all of the parties. They're doing it to them. And I hope they're gonna get some other advantage and some other knowledge, so that they will, go to the pool and do the right thing for themselves. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna live with the administration for 6 years. If you make the wrong choice, I'm sorry, you're just gonna live with it for 6 years, and you may continue saying purple defender for about 12 years or 6 years again. Yeah. So that was what happened today. And again, just to conclude, Unity Party event was a showmanship. Unity Party people like it, they will go protest it from our house. That
Amen.
showmanship they did today. I see them all on a year. Yeah, go
So,
ahead.
actually, James, again, when you speak about those members who are in support of the WIA's government, but they were only given a push and start, in your words, pick up the
Yeah,
day. I
push and
didn't
stop
see it.
pick up.
I have not seen the pickup, so I would just say, in your
And
words, that's what you said,
push and start.
push and start. I just wish a gift to those young men and women could be, a education policy that would strengthen the way that they're in school, or a job, or some kind of housing policy that would give them the opportunity to jumpstart their family life. Those kinds of things would be like more sustainable, and gifts that will last for a long time. So I want policy issues, and the executive branch is cloth with the responsibility of pushing those kind of policy. And if it is rejected by the legislature, they can come back and say, we asked for this, we did this on so and so did. These were the senators and representatives who rejected us. But like you saying, they're going to get that pickup 6 months or 5 months to elections. After that, they'll put them one side again. They will forget all about them. Nothing else. Will not hear about them. The only time we'll hear them calling on the show But it's time for us to wake up in our country that we will no longer be used by the people in power. We want to be alert. We want to be aware as to what is happening in our country. So Nelson, did you have anything else to add? Even though you disagree with James' description of push and start, you're trying to be more objective here.
Richard see the man I see the man he drive the pickup. He see the people
I
pick
come
up.
and put a picture of the car. I come and send a picture.
People a picture of
Yeah, I'm getting a picture of the
yeah,
put up.
Okay, but
the
I
pictures.
mean,
Mhm,
basically, I mean, he touched the other aspects there. Yeah,
mhm. Yeah.
yeah,
And then of course, I believe it's Leo, and Leo is on leave, work related leave. He will be returning. Leo speaks about advocating for a civil servant bill, where when we put people in legislative support staff areas, they will be through our civil servant process. There's not just going to be anybody. And so it makes sense if I'm working for somebody and they pay my bills and they pay me. You think I will object to not celebrating them when they endorse somebody? I will not be stupid not to do that. So because they're paying me. Um, so I will line up. Well, actually, I wouldn't. I don't have that kind of persona to be very dependent. Even when everybody is opposing me, I tend to be just not a follower and objective. So I don't think I would do that. But again, given Liberia's situation, I can understand why they will support their bosses and cheer for them when they come in. So let's welcome some of our viewers here today. We are on Spoon Talk. You are watching Spoon Talk, the biggest platform in the country where you can get all of your information. I'm waiting for my colleagues to come on in to join me here today. And as we wait, we are going to now welcome. When you're ready, James, you let me know. We are going to welcome uh, all of you that are joining us today. I ask you to share the show. This is another way that information can be disseminated, can be shared, can be passed on to other people when you are sharing the show, and allowing everyone to get good information and be informed about what is happening in our country. I'm not going any particular order. Sometimes I get accused by people saying, "Oh, she's only calling ANC people, or she's only calling this person." No, I just look at the screen and call whoever my eye, you know, meets with. Um, Jefferson Francis Kolako says, James, he said hello. Snarty Atwe is also here watching. Mikon F. Oh, that one's so fast. I didn't see it. Hold on a second. I got to see that name.
Okay.
You ready, James?
No, welcome your family members.
Oh, Mekon F. Sion is watching from Melbourne. Thank you very much. Gaula King. Gaula is watching. He says we are here. Laura Bryant is also watching. Thank you so much, Laura Bryant, for being here. Richard Cully is here. Thank you for coming. Baker Ramsey is here. Thank you, Baker, for being here. Edmund Sibo, I live with you guys from Stephen Talbert Estate. Thank you very much. Zanga David is here, saying James is saying negative things. Okay, Zanga, thank you for joining the show. We appreciate your comments. Keep writing. Keep yourself busy listening. Clarence Benson is here from Ontario, Canada. Clarence, thank you for being here. Moses Muhlenberg is also watching from Atadi District number 9. You can tell that Moses is very aware of where his district is, very politically aware. I like when people put their district, they know exactly where they are. Kali Pator is here. Kali, you are entitled to your opinion. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Keep writing. Ernest Johnson, he says, good afternoon, Spoon family. He's watching from Lanham, Maryland. Ernest, thank you for being here. Juma Jala is here. Thank you. Gallo Gallo is watching.
That Monica cost Uncle down there.
Yeah, that's what he's mentioning, Monica, but I wasn't sure what
Don't
he was talking about.
mind.
So I thought it was an inside joke between you and him. So, but thank
No,
you for
that man that his nephew Monica.
Juma Chala. Thank you for being here. Gallo Gallo is from Bismarck City, North Dakota, Midwest, USA. Gallo Gallo, thank you. Doris Bengu is here from San Diego. Tricon Aldrich is here from Concotown Back Road. That's what I believe. That's not too far from where the station is.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Yeah.
recognize that area. Glenn and Frida Mulba is watching from Minnesota. CD1 Juba is watching. I'm not even going to say what you said, but push the start car.
You see how people there.
Theophilus Yuma Power is watching. Thank you. Perry Ajavon is watching. Political Cooper pass away. He watching. Thank
There are
you.
people there who endorse Joseph Baga today.
Thank you for being here. Political Cooper pass away. Sometimes you'll be under my post.
Yeah,
Keep
all of
writing.
them endorse
Keep
today.
posting and keep responding. We love having you here. We enjoy your opinions, the differences in your opinion. Joseph Kokro is watching from Hamilton, New Jersey. Hamilton, New Jersey. Nice to have you here, Joseph. Worthy Welly, I can't really say her last name. She's from VOA, Broward IA Highway, is here. I was just last week I was on Broward IA Highway. So feel like God is good. One week I can be somewhere else, and the next week I can be another place. It's just amazing how the world is. Ibrahim Goa is from Minnesota. He's watching. Pearl Campbell is also watching from Atlanta. Christopher Peewee is watching from Graceland Community, Margibi County. Graceland Community, I wonder where that is in Margibi. Margibi is up and becoming in Liberia. You guys know that, right? It's just,
Yeah.
it was somewhere like nobody really heard about. You heard about Maserati, and then you heard about Boncante, but that little stretch in between, those two kind of now is becoming popular. Everybody is just right there.
Yeah.
Stephen Brown, you are correct.
You ready?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were ready.
I was just gonna say Stephen Brown is telling me that there are personal staffer at the Capitol building. You're right. That's the difference. Personal staffer and civil servants are also there. You can make every legislature staffer a civil servant. That's true. You can, but there'll be a vetting process. That's what I'm talking about. If we have a good ratio between personal staffer and civil servants, that would also be good for me to know. So you are right. Thank you very much for your comment. James, you want to show the car that you're talking about? Let's hear the
Yeah, just before we go to the car, right?
Mhm.
The United Party people, I told you that they are very good at public relations. They understand the job they do. So today they went at the Capitol building. They took one or two pictures, run with it to the public, make it like 4 or 5 pictures, show that the entire place was beautiful. Quietly sit and look at these pictures. They are the same pictures, but you will see United Party folks running here and there. That is the first picture. See the people from the beginning here to the end. The next picture, you're still going to see the very same people. You see it? So twist the camera somehow. You take it and get a move.
It's called cropping. The cropping picture.
The same picture. So you see, right? The same picture. And at the end, they took pictures with their leaders, but I just got one. That is this. So you see, all of the pictures I show here, they are all the same. If you see here, from your own observation, the people here more than 200, less than 100. Yeah, you see the same picture. I give you the deeper part of it. So when I said it was just staffers welcoming their leaders, some said I was not being real. And I can't here to come be public relation officer for you. That Fagona will come spin it for you people. Not me. So this is the push and stop that the president gave to the guys.
Why people gotta put car picture on everything? Who tax
Yeah.
that is that personal property or taxpayer property? I just wonder.
I campaign. You running the president campaign. I don't
Ah,
want it. So that the car, not new car. Oh. Don't see the plastic in there. You see that new brand car. You see the tire, not new car.
I see what they'll see having a problem with your picture start definition because I saw plastic
No,
written.
no, no, I only
Look
asking
at
them, man.
don't look at no plastic what
Uh,
else. They
but that
scam you.
emergency, honestly, I'm happy to know that the president met with the
He
the
met with
the
them.
response defense guys, because I remember since 2018, those guys will always call on the talk show and they will praise the president. Then they will go in our inboxes after the
Yeah.
show and be complaining, my man. We just praising the people in there, but nothing happening. My man, go ahead. So I'm glad that the president met with the guys. So
And we have our personal friends that we will not talk about what we did, right?
no,
But
Sure.
no, we're not talking about
yeah, they will
what we say
come
behind the
beg
scenes.
you
But
sometimes just to call. Sometimes when they try to learn, sometimes they will call your personal number. Brother, just allow me to just come home. That is how the fun. Though
Yeah.
they were consistent. Again, it is a lesson for people. Be consistent. Keep doing what you can do best. Whatever people say, don't fall back. Continue to do. One day your time will come. Yes, from that angle, it was an achievement for them meeting the president of the country. It is the wish of everyone, even me. If I can meet the president of my country, it is a boost for me. Yeah,
So
every living human being of a country. Yeah,
so I want to welcome
yeah,
Mr. Falcone to the show. Thank you for being here. For carrying the show on. Um, I have a question though. Please bear with me, Mr. Falcone. Let me ask Good Day and Nelson this question. So is this like the organization of George Weah Pro supporters? Is that like an organization that he gave the card to, or it was just like a group of people that support?
yeah. Group of young people
Uh-huh.
who, when the CDC administration came to power, the CDC was confronted with serious media confrontation when it came to power first. That was the term Minister Fagon and all had to take the defense because everyone was attacking the CDC from all angles, hating them. If you listen to Fagon telling you, I played the Mayfi, that was how he had to take the Mayfi. And these boys too, they had to put themselves together. Some of them are not seditious, but they love the president. They had to come together. It started with 2, 3, 4. They started coming together, calling on regular talk shows, defending the government. What even if the government is wrong, sometimes they will frame it in the interest of the government. And like every day, they will listen to all talk shows. They will
Oh
call
wow.
on all the talk shows in Monrovia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is not a CDC
So
organization,
my,
but young people came
my
together.
second question to you is:
Mm.
was the donation a personal property donation that we have documentation that you the press people that you guys saw, or was it taxpayers' money that was used for this donation? What was the event held? Was it at a taxpayer property or was it at a
As it
private?
was it was
Typical.
held at the president's private entertainment center
Okay. Okay.
Jamaica. That's
Yes.
where they had a program. So now that when people taxpayer place, he had
Okay.
Jamaica before becoming president.
That's
He
good.
only improved.
That's
Yeah, he
exactly.
only
I need that
improved on the
clarification.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he had Jamaica before becoming president.
So that's
So
good.
to
That's
talk
good.
about the car, the
Mhm.
president said it was a gift from him to the guys to enable them to carry on their work. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't tell me the president I get money to buy that Chinese car. Yeah, the president get plenty of money that he can buy even 100 people that car. So I
Yeah.
can say it is party money or country
Okay.
money.
Yeah. That's one of the questions I would love to know, but you answer my questions. So
Mhm.
thank you. Mr. Fagon, we're here again today. Thank you for being here. Your thoughts. We welcome everyone We're waiting. You
Please
have
call
any-
James back. I would like to correct him on a couple of issues so that the public can know the facts as opposed to the fiction. James, please come back. Don't run. When you see Fagon, don't run. You come for a propaganda, you meet a propagandist himself. You're supposed to be man enough to face the propagandist. And what I want to tell the Liberian people is this. How many programs the legislative staff force had today? Was it 12, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3? It was only one. So if you take a photograph, unless you take the photograph from different angles to be able to show different angles of the building, the people seated there will be the same. That's the first correction I want to give you. The photograph you showed, you see the old man right here with her gray hair and the girl with her finger in her mouth? When you show it again, what do you see?
Point of correction, no old man there.
Hold on.
She's a lady.
I didn't talk.
No, she's a lady. I just want to correct that.
Okay. You won't be destructive. There, she's a lady. She girl, she woman, she lady.
No, I don't want you to say woman.
She didn't get a problem with it. When she call you and say, when you are trying to make all that we are fools, if they didn't use girl on me, he right. Because this picture, so we said, hey, you see the lady with her hand on her jaw? Then now the lady sitting over there with her hand on her jaw?
Correct.
She's in the same picture.
The same person that sitting inside her. The person different?
But I told you that one picture.
Okay, so it was one event.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's one picture. That's the first thing. Taken from different angles. Taking from different angles. Finish. Point 2.
So what's the clarity?
The clarity I'm providing for you, you said the man that took pictures and make it look like that different thing. You see the people over at the 100 who were talking, I didn't talk. So give me a chance, let me talk. The second thing I want you to let you know, the gentleman made it explicitly clear that the people you see here today is supposed to be more. But today is the first day of the opening. He said it in his speech. Did you not hear him?
Which network you listen to?
The same thing I put in the chat room. That's why I watch. And the same thing the Spoon CEO watch.
But why you would tell me that?
So the gentleman spoke. And the gentleman who spoke was the guy who introduced all the people there. It's on the video. Point number 3 I want to make to you. The Senate comprises of 30 senators. And when they say legislative staff force, you don't know what the other senators then were doing. The senators we saw over there were Nyomli, Delon, Barney, Prince Moi. So assuming the staff force attended the meeting, what happened to the other 26 senators?
What happened to Prince Johnson staff force that came? Senator Johnson.
No. Where you are talking
Henry Yala.
I'm trying to put you in the position.
No, I want name Unity Party senators now.
If all the senators and their staffers were to attend, no space will be over there. No. But that the senators that attended, correct me if I'm wrong, was Nyomli, Delon, hold on, Nyomli, Delon, you were talking, I didn't talk. Barney, Prince Moi. How many? That 4? That 4. So if they can even get that much people in there, it's a success story. Because 26 senators not there. And maybe some of the staffers not there. But legislative staffers is not only senators. What about the janitors? What about the sweepers? What about the guys who cut the grass? You are trying to downplay an event for us that is no significance. They appreciated the people today. They welcomed them back. They gave their speeches. That's all that matters. Whether they were 15, they were 20, the other people make it look like 30 pictures. What happened there was those senators were welcomed back to the Capitol building. Now, here are my thoughts on the prevailing situation. I just wanted to let you know.
No, you can't jump.
Spin on it.
You can't spin and just go because my name was called. You call my name.
So who called me first? And now you say Fagon will post me on it.
Fagon.
Now you call my name first.
Fagon, are you finished with this topic? Do you want him to?
That topic finished. I'm going to my actual thought.
Okay.
Yeah, then the actual thought should be table and for us to.
Who are you to tell me when you are doing your own thought? When you call my name, I respond to you.
Because you were not here.
But you call my name, you say Fagon will post me on it.
Okay, guys. Can we just...
So I post spin on it, correct?
No.
Finish. So let my own thought can, when I'm thought can you post spin on it, yeah?
Okay, Fagon, let me ask you, can I ask this?
Yeah.
Would you want to finish your thoughts and then James get a chance to say what he wants to say?
They left to the moderator. The Liberian people know that there was one event today. The pictures were taken from different angles. Thirdly, it was not 30 senators in the building. The whole legislature did not come together. It was 4 senators and some staffers. And the person who spoke made it clear. Today is the first day. That's why you see a small group like this. Case closed. We're not arguing on James' number. We're not here for
that is why I want to debunk your political framing.
So can we hear what James got to say?
Politically, you are framing situations.
I'm inflaming it because you downplay it.
I did not say inflame. I said you are framing.
You said, can you see? You asked that offensive. It's about 100 people in here. Even at our 10, the event was meant to welcome people back, and it was achieved. Even if there were 10, at least get 100. Me, I take it to be 10. So no debate. We wanted just to welcome 4 senators.
That's great. Yeah, that's good. So no debate.
That's a welcome.
No debate.
No debate. We're only having 10 people there. It finished. No. That one finished.
Okay, good. It finished now. No debate.
You want to raise the song, Joey Go, Joey Go. You get that song? And then we're singing it too. It's not important, but it's important. Now, let's go to my thought.
Just wait. Let me go to his thoughts.
Something scary happened over the last 72 hours. Every time I've come on this platform, I've heard my colleagues talk about the 66 bogus agreement. I have remained silent for many years. Because when you don't have all of the evidence and all of the facts, leave it as it is. But something scary happened today. And me knowing the facts, knowing that they were there, if you go to my video, you will see that I'm showing it. Hours after I broke that news with the facts, whoever controlled those sites, forgetting to know that I have screenshot it, I took actual pictures of it, I took the stuff, went to work, and wiped Mr. Kumi's name from there completely. I don't believe that Mr. Kumi should wipe his name. What you have done, you have done. It's not going to change that you have done it. And I think you should be proud of it. And why I'm saying this, because every day Mr. Kumi said, no investor has come to the country over the last 6 years. Well, when Ellen took over, Ellen brought in the Pan-African Capital Group. That was Ellen, that was Cashin, Stephen Cashin, Ken Oforiatta, and the guy from Gambia. The moment they came in, they bought the IT bank. When they bought it, they changed it to IB Bank. Mm-hmm. And when they changed it to IB Bank, they brought in the West Africa Insurance. Through the IB Bank and through every other investment opportunities, it was channeled through that group. So the 66 bogus agreement went through that group. But Kumi served as director and board of directors chair. Okay? Kumi's did his work. Kumi's worked with them. Kumi even served on the board for Chevron. Oito Noka. The wisdom that can come and talk here. He was at the National Investment Commission. When Ellen switched him, Molowa Gray took over from him, And George Weah put Moluwa Gray's sister, Safua, in charge of NOCAL. To make long matter short and to make your show enjoyable, it turns out that after Ellen left, all investments stopped. When Cummins decided to become president in 2017, Cummins left the board of directors of the Pan-African Capital Group. Then Ellen, who brought Cummins, gave him the highest honor. Cummins, who had done all the job. People don't know Cummins. Oh, CEO. Cummins is a financial analyst. Worldwide, everybody knows him. And he worked with that financial group from 2000, ending at 2000, all the way to 2017. When he decided to leave, Ellen brought her brother-in-law, Estrada Bernard, the husband of Jenny Bernard, and put him in charge. And Cummins walked away. Since Cummins walked away, and since Ellen knew, the Ken Ofori-Atta, who was their friend, is the current Minister of Finance in Ghana, Ken Ofori-Atta. You can look him up. And he's still working. They decided that they would shut down all other investment. And they did. But after this news was broken today to the Liberian people, they are wiping all these things from there. It doesn't, for me, I only want Cummins to come and say, what role did he play? Whether with Chevron and NOCAL, whether with the investment group, Pan-African Capital, where all his part he played. He needs to come forward and clear the air. By doing so, he will give us an opportunity, because we have always said, Elio, Cummins, and then when George Weah came, George Weah decided to protect them. And George Weah refused to order them. And so for me, when I see Cummins with George Wesnor, imagine Cummins is the chairman on the board now for the group. Cummins is the board of directors on the bank. Wesnor, let George Wesnor work a kind to step the show, was the National Investment Commission boss. Under the petroleum operation, Musa Belete was able to get that 5.9 million. They are in the car with Cummins. This whole thing has happened. We just want Cummins to come and clear the air. That's all I want Cummins to do. What role he played from 2006 all the way in all of this thing, please let Cummins come and explain himself. That's all we are asking. I'm not accusing him. He's a good man. He's a nice man. He must just come and clear the air so that we can know China Union, ArcelorMittal, Western Cluster, MMG Gold, all these investment that every day you can be calling bogus investment. Through the RB Bank, even the airport that built, all the things that are happening. He was chairman of the board, chief financial analyst. Let him come. There is station royalty for the Liberian people.
Yes.
Call him until you get it. Never say, come.
Thank you.
The poor want you to come talk where you know.
Thank you. Thank you. James, I'm going to give him opportunity. I think you're waiting to do that, to speak. And I also have
They make me talk about what 10 people that came today again.
All right.
He wanted to say something.
Yes, I will talk about it.
Okay, talk about what
because we are on the radio. We are on many stations. Liberians are listening. We don't want our people to be misinformed, to hold that misinformation. Again, we agreed that the senators who attended today were 5.
Yes.
But you have Stavros from almost all of the senators, including those who are now with the Unity Party, who are not member of the Unity Party, but they are supporting Unity Party. The likes of Senator Steve Zago, Senator Prince Johnson,
yes, sir.
How you call it? Grandpa saw 2, the Bon County 1.
Yes, sir.
You can need the rest.
Yes,
there are people coming on. So the point there is, those who went there today, under the umbrella of
legislative staff force.
Should have not used that because they are the very people who are working for these people who already crossed carpet to Joseph Yuma Boakai. How can a Koba Pasawe who is a member of the city's, how you call it, the Unity Party, come out to tell me say he endorsing Unity Party? How can my own good friend Lasana Kane, who is with Senator Dillon, I saw him in Grand Pastor singing rescue. How can that fellow come by and tell me he's declaring his support for Joseph Yuma Boakai? So we should stop fooling our people. Those who went there, they are working for their political masters who are already supporting the JNB ticket.
Okay.
Those who have declared their support. So we had less than 100 people who show up today. Unity Party achieved nothing. It was just a showmanship.
So why did you inform the Nigerian people that the only people that were there today were not Unity Party? They were different people. Why now? Is it not their right to do what they did? That's a simple question I gave you.
I did not question them.
He didn't question rights.
I just asked you a simple question. Is it not their right?
I want to move on.
Working for an institution when my boss is coming. The last time when my boss was
the question, is it not their right
and when I
to do what they did?
Good day, that distraction going on. You know,
you welcome your boss.
Is it not their right to do what they did? I don't want to.
It is your right to welcome your boss. You welcome President. We have many times.
Guys, let's get back. Let's have some order.
It is not news. You don't
have news. That big news for someone else.
News is something that is unusual. That's not a usual thing we expected.
No, if you expect it, you're not talking
about it. I need a decorum on the show. Thank you very much.
It's for you.
Thank you. You know, James just presented. You guys have different. Wait now, before you. Calm down.
Yeah, but the people do that thing. I see the bearing pack.
Calm down. It's okay. It's okay for us to have different.
My next question I'm going to ask him was, how many legislative staffers do you know that we have in the country? How many? More than 200?
Well, James, that's not. We're not here for Chairman Brownquist show.
Now, when that time comes, y'all talk that.
Okay, listen.
Everybody did nothing today.
It is okay for us to defer in
our. You were crying. You crying.
Views. Okay. It is okay for us to defer in our.
James were crying. Not crying.
But let me just say something.
Agori, you feel taking me from there already. Agori,
you tell yourself from there. You said it tell you from there.
Baba, he took me off. Baba,
they will play the music.
Thank you. Oh my God, how can you fail with James? I understand how you check it. You check out now.
The people do that thing and nothing to do with James. We already know James. We already know that James has crossed carpet now to his people we know.
But James alone, man.
The people who are James, they don't know James. They do that thing. They were feeling they were happy. But the new song that coming play on their platform, we have hit the chart. It's #1 now on the Billboard. Dr. Francine, I think many days you're not coming yet.
Gospel song. As long as Spoon Talk open, they allow me to come here. Nobody driving.
But I think you can't ever get to listen to the gospel song. I know
that's okay. What kind of song? That's okay. But you know what? I wanted to say something that you mentioned that every day panelists come here, and especially me. I have been the one who, over the past 2 days, that have mentioned a bogus agreement.
Now you are what day? When me great. What day get your chance?
But let me speak. I will speak for myself. I told you.
But you can welcome some other more Ali and I can't. You won't even acknowledge our present. Acknowledge our present now.
That's not like they won't like more Ali birthday.
Yeah, I'm big. Look at Mo Ali shaking his head. He said, "No way."
Welcome to Spoon Talk.
And she said, "Mo Ali, welcome, Mo Ali."
I don't really have any problem.
Mo Ali, welcome.
You go to school FM workers and you say, "You go welcome Standard Water School." You say that achievement.
What happened to you in that?
They rather had to you.
Stanton and James. And Dr. Richardson, can I make a suggestion? Normally we come on the show and we exchange in a civil manner. I know it is difficult to keep up with the comments, but sometimes it's good to look for those who are acting extremely rude. That somebody is literally insulting people, writing insulting comments. Sometimes you just block those kind of people and just delete their comments.
Yeah, we've been doing it more. It just, as you say, it's hard to catch up. But once we see them, we block them. And then sometimes they will say, "Oh, I didn't mean it like this. Can you bring me back?" But seriously, it is uncalled for that instead of us having a good conversation, laughing, and they're going to start, they will be insulting. So we block them. And after the show, they go back on the page again and continue their insult. This is for everybody, but what you're saying is true. We have to monitor it.
Thank you for your feedback. Like the Stephen said, it will be monitor. James will be looking at all that are involved in monitoring the page. Will be doing so. I want to go back, to the 66 bogus agreement that Fargon spoke
about. You
said
66 book of the Bible? That's what you just said?
I'm not going to.
I can name the 66 book.
Okay.
It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. Should I name it? It's 66 books in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
Thank you.
Which one are you talking about?
Thank you. You are a good church boy. Thank you very much. You went to
good church boy.
you went to a church school or wherever. But I was talking about the 66 bogus agreement, the one that, according to Fargon, Joseph Boakai presided over, and we had an exchange, an educational session about what preside is. Okay, I talk about how that agreement had clauses within the agreement that were meant to blindfold the Liberian people, and it was not meant for the best interest of the Liberian people. All right, and this was done by Stephen Moore, auditing company in England. They were the one who came out with different conclusions as to how brown envelope were exchanged. There was a non-disclosure clause in the agreement. 66 of them were just not in the interest of the Liberian people. Among those 66 were the very share from that Fargon mentioned, the logging company, ArcelorMittal, the Western Cluster. None of them were to be used for development of schools, roads, hospitals. Now, Joseph Boakai was elected along with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to look out for the best interest of the Liberian people as per our constitution. That did not happen under his watch. He was the presiding officer under his watch. So when I hear Fargon come here and say, "Oh, Mr. Cummings, you're right. He's a financial analyst." I appreciate that you saying that. You also were right to tell us that he was the chair of the board of the IB Bank in Liberia. And I also think that I'm happy that you recognize what power that he has, that he was able to negotiate. Okay, he's a negotiator. He was able to, you said that you said that you wanted to know why investors stopped coming to the country. Because he didn't use his negotiating power. This is why when you elect a leader, you should be able to understand the relationship that leader has outside of Liberia. How are they going to connect with other people to bring investors into the country? You are giving Mr. Cummings so much power to say you wonder why investors stopped coming to the country. That's what you say. Investors stopped coming to the country. Well, Judge, I have you said they decided to shut down all of the investments. I actually have that here.
So, Dr. Richardson, how long you talking for now? Because we started the show yet.
Do you want to moderate?
No, you are, but some of you not even allow us to do intro. You've been talking for 1 hour now.
No, you just started the show. For 1 hour, but if you want us to switch the moderation today, I can do that.
No, I'm not. But I'll be under your skin today, sister. I'll be under your skin.
I quoted here where Fargon said they decided to shut down all other investments. Who they did, you were talking about, I don't know, but you recognize that Mr. Cummings was chairman of the board of IB Bank, and that is a business. The role of the chairperson of the board, it's complex. I can explain that to you if you want to to know. He is a businessman. You talk about the Pan African Capital Group, the West African Insurance Investors. Those are all businesses, and you're right. He was a part of those businesses. That's what intelligent chief financial officers, financial analysis, they do business. So I was, I'm confused as to what you're trying to say. But anyway, let's go. Thank you for being here.
No, but say you call Manina, and I
Okay,
said
no,
you
I won't-
misrepresented me.
Wait, but Fago, let your mom rest. Let she finish. I
Yeah,
beg you,
go
wait
ahead.
more.
Let's
But
go.
go ahead.
Let's
You feel free to go ahead and we'll go to
No, but
Yeah,
can
you
you
misrepresented
tell us?
me.
I beg you, Honorable Fago, hold on. Now we want to understand what are we talking about right now. So some other just joining the show, tell us what's the conversation now.
The conversation started off with our thoughts. Maybe you guys might have your thoughts. My thought border on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf coming to power, bringing Alexander Cummings, Steve Cashin, Ken Afori Atta, and the Gambian guy. And they brought in the Pan-African Capital Group. And they bought the first bank, an open RB bank, opened the insurance company, and lured our entire country, not only through the bank, through the insurance company, and channel all investment through the National Investment Commission with Wisner and Cummings, with the bank, and they managed to bring in all these investments, tie it into their company. Then it went on for me to prove that with the 66 bogus agreement, under Ellen, Schwarzenegger at that time, Ellen was the president. The man she brought, Alexander Cummings, was in charge of Capital Investment Group's Liberia. And today, all of the bogus investment that y'all talk about, who brought it? Ellen. Under who government? Ellen. Who financially facilitated all? Cummings. What was Cummings' position? Whether with Chevron, whether with ID Bank, we say, let him come and talk. As over the presiding of the Senate, I will not go back and forth with Dr. Francine, because perhaps Dr. Francine don't understand that the minority will have their say, meaning they will talk in the Senate. They can do whatever they want to. The majority will have their way. The vice president presides over the deliberation. So you and myself in the Senate cannot talk over each other. The agenda is set. That's why you have the president pro tem of the Liberian Senate. When all of that takes place, in the case where there is a draw, 15 senators on one side, 15 on the other side, he breaks the draw. But by presiding over the deliberation, you come up to say that he will have influence. In the Senate, you can have every influence you want to have. I will vote the way I want to vote. What will you do about it? What can you do?
Nice
as
try,
vice president?
Fanval. Nice try.
There is nothing you can do because you don't
All
have
right,
voting
we shouldn't
power.
interrupt, please. I beg everybody. Dr.
Nice
And you see
try,
what
brother.
ANC people can do?
Dr. Richardson
see what
moderating.
ANC
Let's have a
people can
good
do?
show today by begging your back.
No, I will rest my case until Cummings then can talk about him, my Ellie, Western then, Belated then. Let them come down and deny the Pan-African Capital Group. Let them come and deny that the RB Bank is not what they own. Let them come and deny that the West Africa Insurance Company is not what they own. Let them come and deny Steve Cashin, Ken Ofori Atta, and the Ellie and others.
Yeah, but so let's go to Dr. Richardson now. She want to bring us into.
So,
Thank you, Fagon.
and you're right, Fagon, you and I are both panelists on this show, and I will not argue with you, but I would disagree with you. And my disagreement is that the majority will have their way. However, okay, Bawka was elected by the people. He was elected to preside and to break tie in the Senate. If he disagreed with the majority having his root, did he speak? He is the one that we should be calling. You are asking the Liberian people, you are asking the biggest platform to call Mr. Cummings. as opposed to asking Mr. Booker, who was being paid by taxpayers, to come here and tell us in what way did he know that the contract, those agreements that were signed were bogus? What did he say about it?
But someone challenged you to prove it here that the accounts were bogus.
But it's not between two of y'all. Can you share the part?
I just told you there were non-disclosure clause put in those bogus agreements. I just told you Stephen Moore, auditing company in England, said that there were brown envelopes that were passed for those agreements to be voted upon.
By who? By which government?
You can tell Booker government. Booker was the vice president by Booker government.
Oh, so you leave Ellen and Cummings, right?
Ellen is no longer president. She's not vying for nothing. She's not.
No. When she was president, that's when the 66. When she was president, let's get this straight. That's when the 66 bogus agreement passed. True or false?
When Booker was presiding over the Senate, true or false?
Oh, we see where you're coming from. Thank you, Liberian people. At least you'll get a whole idea.
Thank you, Liberian people. At least you know what happened with the 66 bogus agreement, that our youth resources were just...
Booker said that now we know why they don't want you to be president.
Thank you for explaining how brilliant Mr. Cummings is in his analysis.
Oh, God, thank you. Caller expose teams.
Yeah, but anything you're doing is not fair, though. Dr. Richardson, you're moderating. This is not between you and Fagon. You got to at least pass it around.
Actually, go ahead, Stanton. Your turn. Speak.
But listen, I don't listen. This Fagon argument with you, I just want us to have a very clear and balanced conversation for the sake of our audience. And I think that you guys are on track. But this will be the Dr. Richardson and Minister Fagon podcast. So please allow us to speak. And I really think that it would be important if we can just speak within the 2 minutes, though we are not asking Isaac to put up the clock, but we should observe our speaking time to give others the chance. I would say I really do not have enough information on the comments dealing with companies and those other transactions that Minister Fagon is talking about. And I hate to do this because I do not have the information. I will allow Fagon to make his case when I have document in my possession to prove otherwise, and I'm going to speak on it. But for now, I cannot. We know about Nokal, what's going on today in the country concerning Nokal. We know about Madam Salif and what her son did at Nokal. But I have not seen anything that would tie Cummings to Nokal, tie Cummings to the energy sector of our country, tie Cummings to this government. So Fagon did a podcast today. He went ahead to speak, and I think he has something in his possession that he will share. And once we go over and read it, we'll have a better understanding as to where we are. Then we can make that argument against Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings, did you know? Mr. Cummings, what can you tell the Liberian people? Then we can ask the question. So let me leave that a little bit. I'm going to leave that because I've been at my daughter's graduation, thanks to my family. The graduation successful, and I decided to come on the show. Let me take my 30 seconds to explain what happened today at the Capitol building in the Republic of Liberia. Something strange is happening. And I think it's about time to make this argument, bring this argument. President George Manneh, whether the Liberian people need him in office or not. What we saw today, people singing, people celebrating, the opposition are coming together. It was something strange to me. I have not seen that before. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I have not seen it. And I was speaking in, just listening to them, and somebody was playing the music that I think we all should listen to. I think the Liberian people coming to the understanding, either they do not want this president or they will keep him. And the argument, I caught on as a via conversation yesterday. The argument should be opposition against George Manneh. That should be the argument. Opposition against George Manneh. If you use this network to beat Cummings and Joseph Boakai every day, then you gave George Manneh a pass. 10-second quick. George Manneh went to Clariton. Everything the president said when he was opening that pipe. That's the worst I've heard in the history of Liberia. And I think opposition should get up, because if he will use that to win election, he said, because I bailed in this part, the people will re-elect me. Then Ava, I hold you responsible. Aaron and Mo Ali, if he would bail or many part and say because of that, the people will re-elect him, then you guys are not doing a better job. I rest.
Mwali.
Well, thank you. When we came from Buchanan on Sunday, I had concluded to myself and with most of my people that we gain nothing from a debate between supporters of the Unity Party and that of the ANC. If I sat here the other night and said any of the opposition candidates, viable opposition candidates that will make it to the second round, if there is a second round, we are expected to win on the first ballot, I will support that candidate, including Mr. Cummings. If that is the case, then it becomes absolutely senseless for me to sit on the platform that disseminates information to the rest of the country and keep talking like, we are at each other's throat. And moving forward, I will redirect my energy to the CDC and the government. I will redirect my energy to exposing consistently the ills in the Liberian society, the shortcomings of the government, the ineptitude of the government. I will not go back and forth with anybody from the CPP or the ANC on 66 bogus agreement and blah, blah, blah. When the right people bring that argument, the people from the CDC, we will delve into it. We will go into the into-to. We will tell them how their vice president was in the Senate and all of those agreements they call quote-unquote bogus pass. We will tell them that their president was there for 3 years when some of those agreements passed. And if they understood that those agreements were quote-unquote bogus, when they took over, especially a Senate that is now being presided over by their Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, that passed quote-unquote bogus agreement, they would have commissioned an audit into those agreements, review those concession agreements, and make the correction and throw the bogus part away and bring the better part for the Liberian people. Moving forward, I'm not arguing that argument with ANC people. I will have that argument with the CDC people the day they bring it out. I will tell them how invalid such an argument is. I will tell them that when we were there for 12 years, we paid civil servants even before the month ended. We did not harmonize civil servants' salaries. Today, they are harmonizing here and there. You listen to the staff force today. And I heard my good friend James Plomo saying that few persons know I looked into the hall today. It was jam-packed with staffers. And I captured most of the things said by those senators. Senator James Barney, for example, he said from the time he grew up in Maryland, he drove on that road 2-3 times a year. The first time they saw quota on the highway was from the Unity Party. The first time they saw real electricity, maybe especially since the war, was from the Unity Party. The Unity Party is the one that carry concession agreements. They are the very concession agreements that we term as bogus that employ people. The Golden Verilion, the Maryland Oil Palm, and all of those concession agreements that we term as bogus, they were carried there by the Unity Party. And he challenged the CDC government to show one viable concession agreement that they've carried to the Southeast. He challenged them to show any highway that they have initiated and source resource from to construct in the southeast. Those are the people I want to direct my argument at. Those are the people I want to engage into argument. Stanton, I'm no longer engaging my CDC, my ANC colleagues into back and forth. I will redirect my argument to the CDC. They are the ones that we are fighting to take from power. Thank you. I think my 2 minutes. If I stay yes, you'll tell me. Dr. Richardson, you are muted.
Let me Gray.
All right. It's sometimes confusing when others say Mr. Cummings has no governmental experience. They beat that drum so hard till one would think that Mr. Cummings is an infant. Because in order to have governmental experience, they believe that you must have been appointed by government, not having any dealing with government, so to speak. And then we come here, we hear all of an entire government that went into abyss. People are shifting blame on a guy who was actually endeavored in the private sector as some of the individuals who brought down the system. A system that was powerfully equipped, well checked and balanced with PACC, in case you don't know what that is, LACC. So public concession. In other words, before anything is approved, it goes to an entity. That entity has nothing to do with Alex. LACC, anti-corruption, of course. So many good GSC, which is Mr. Molu, John Molu, conducted so many audits. Now one turn up to have a footprint or handprint or thumbprint of Alex Cummings. But yet, we'll come and sit here in a public endeavor to misrepresent, to we have a fragile society where people listen to loud voices like Fangon and they learn. For them, whether it's misinformation, they run with it. That's what they're accustomed to. But so some of us are now moved sometimes when we hear people will come in and misrepresent. That's fine. If Cummings has all this power to actually involve with government when he was outside with no experience, then one of the two is right. Sometimes people have a tendency of speaking for the day, and then when we fast forward to the future, they say, "Oh, don't take what I said yesterday. Take what I'm saying now." So it goes to say, who do we believe? The guy who spoke yesterday or the guy who is speaking today? And that again is baffling to some of us. But let's go back. There's so many dire issues that we're supposed to be talking. Let's say all the candidates in this race, they are bread and butter issue that we're supposed to be talking about on these platforms. The family who goes to JFK to deliver a baby, and that same baby is left there spawn, cannot leave the hospital because the family don't have the money. Or the boy who is 3-4 years old start going behind his older brother to sell cool water or something in the market, as a result, gashing into his future, may not even be educated. 5-6 year old, they start holding little items in their hands to win the bread in their home. Those are dire issues that we're supposed to be hearing from our leaders. What are they going to do with those kinds of situations? What about education system that is so down to near nothing? You understand? What are we going to do to uplift the average life of Liberians? Those are things we're supposed not to consider and be talking about who is going to be running mate to who, vice president to who. You know, those are not important. Those are not the issues I think Liberians want to hear. We want to hear if this person is leading in the polls and they might inherit the presidency, they might get the presidency. What are they going to do? That's what I want to hear. You know, we can bicker.
30 seconds and then we'll go to Ava.
Yes, ma'am. So we can bicker all we want, but we can shift blame. We can say this person presided over this amount of concession and so on. What are they going to do if elected as president? That's the argument I would like to partake in. Thank you.
Thank you, Remy Gray. Ava?
Yeah, thank you. So I don't know where to start from because there are a couple of things going on, but I would like to say, greetings to all of you, to the listening audience as well. Congratulations to the man who had his children's graduation today. And to all the other graduates out there. Many people, this is graduation season, so it's flowing. I just want to applaud Mo Ali because I've been seeing it for the longest time that we should be beating on this government, this messed up government. If the people want to give Joseph Boakai an opportunity to go back based on his record from, 2006 to 2018, fine. If the people want change and want to go with Mr. Cummings, who's totally new to the system, bringing different ideas, has a vision for the country, fine. But I think it should be a resolution by the opposition that George Weah is not an option. He has totally failed. He does not have the competence to be our president. He has been derelict in his responsibilities. And everything is just breaking down around him. So before we go to a pariah state or we get totally rejected by the community of nations, I think the political situation through democracy should step in for an opposition president to become president. So we should have an approach to this thing because we're needing each other. There's a second round and we need to be committed to it. It's good to compete. I mean, my whole life I competed. Even my own brother, my sisters, we competed. But you can have a friendly atmosphere of competition and still have a shared vision in terms of where you want the country to go. So hopefully that will sustain. I know there will be people who will violate it, but maturity should come in, that people should ignore some of those comments, some of those negative statements, and still be committed to a opposition that has unity of purpose, which is to replace this current government. But let me also touch on a topic that Eugene is talking about his life being threatened and trying to I don't know how Cummings coming to the picture for him, but I think there's some confusion with Eugene. Whether is the previous accusation he had from Liberia that the CDC government was trying to take his life, and now today, whether he was setting us up before when he talked about the guy slapping him on his back, and it meaning something. Now he's talking about probably rash on his skin or discoloration. His stomach is bloated based on the picture he showed on his video.
Did I say that on this show?
It doesn't matter where you said it.
No, did I say that on this show? Because now you're attacking me. That's why I'm asking.
Don't interrupt me.
No, but you're attacking me. We are on a platform.
Eugene, you have your time.
Because he is saying things that was not said yet tonight. And that's how it starts. Then you guys want to run away. So go ahead. You will expect my answer.
Who runs away? You run away from the
Okay, all right, guys. So that's okay.
Run away from you. No
Isaac, make your point, and Eugene, you'll have the time to speak.
I'm making my point. Let Eugene be disciplined to listen. You mentioned what he said, and you said you have no knowledge of it. It was not a problem for him. I mentioned something else with that's a same podcast, and he crying over that.
He did not say that. He said, I have no knowledge of Cummings being tied to the energy or to any one of the bogus deals. That's what he said.
Exactly.
But what I'm speaking about is totally different from what he talked about, which I will bring him to. Don't worry when I respond.
It was the same podcast he talked about.
All right, gentlemen, let's proceed. Let's proceed, Ava.
Thank you. So you know, again, let me ask something, Eugene. Have you read the report, the Leite report, and do you know the name of the report?
You don't want me to speak, then you want to ask me a question? Finish, I will
I never
respond.
said I don't want you to speak. I said don't interrupt me. Don't
ask me a question if you don't want to be interrupted. I will respond when my time comes.
Ava, go ahead. Finish up, Ava.
You're not interviewing me. Speak. When I come,
Ava, finish up.
I mean, why we got crab here on this show?
Ava, finish up. Finish up, Ava.
So
you and your whole ANC follow me for 3 years.
I want problems. I don't want peace. Be quiet.
I want problem always.
So let me tell you straight up. I don't think Eugene understand the report. The first thing, because the ties and linkages he's trying to draw to that report are just totally out of context. The period that report covers, okay, him trying to link that with Mr. Cummings is just asinine, just completely off base. So Eugene need to try to get his facts correct before he try to create this conspiracy or these big scenarios around things that just are not applicable to where we are as a people. You know, it's good to think grandiose and all this kind of stuff, but look, our people are gullible. They believe some of these things because most of our people don't read. Even if they can read, you get in the paper, they don't want to read. So this conspiracy theory that you always coming with, we got to really start checking you hard. You got to read some of these reports, understand the origin, understand the purpose before you draw some of these false conclusions you're drawing about them, Eugene. I'm serious. Because this is, it affects the mindset of people. It affects our political discourse. It affects individuals that you draw into situations that are not even connected with it. Now you're accusing people of trying to kill you. You're on the run, but you're sitting down over there. They can't find you. They won't find you.
All right.
You need to be careful, my brother. You need to be careful. But I just
Dr. Richardson,
I don't know if you saw the notes, Center. I
reply you. So look at your text. Dr. Richardson, can we? I think Ava was doing 2 minutes, but can we go back to the clock and do at least 2 minutes, 30 seconds, or 3 minutes? Because we really want to speak on it.
Can I respond to Conor Remy Gray and Ava?
I have no objection to that. So I'm going to ask that we, again, I think everyone said here that we focus on issues that are impacting the Liberian people, issues relating to poverty, issues relating to the lack of standard, like optimal education, issues relating to healthcare, and how this government contributes to, you know, the increase in poverty for the Liberian people. So I actually agree with that. But I will, again, we'll take our 2 minutes and then you can respond to what you want to respond and stick to the issues that impact the Liberian people, or you can respond to whoever you want to respond to here. I will start with you, Fakon.
2 or 3?
2 minutes.
Okay.
First of all, it is a blatant lie. And Isaac, I'm sorry to say you are a liar. I never talk about any report. I've not read any report. I did not show any report on my show. I think the Spoon Man was watching. I showed the website of the Pan-African Group. Period. Don't lie on me like that next time. Maybe you know about a report. Don't you ever dare lie on me. I did not read a report. I know nothing about a report. Period. Secondly, on this platform where I sit, Remy Gray, don't you ever call me a loud talker, because I'm not responsible for your speech impediment or deficiency. I speak loud because that's the way I talk. So if you talk slow, it's your prerogative.
Mr. Fakon.
Let's go back to the issue. No, when he called me a loud talker, you said nothing, ma'am.
Did he mention your name?
I'm telling him not to do it to me again. It's simple English. Don't you ever call me a loud talker again. What's wrong with that? I'm just protecting myself.
I just want us to just respect everybody.
And at my time, because they insulted me, you said nothing. I'm just telling you, they shouldn't say it again.
I didn't hear him say, Fakon, you loud talker.
You can go back and play the tape. Now, having said that, let me come to the point about you talking about reports. We've seen too many reports on Liberia. We know who write them. When Cummings had a case in the court, he ran to Tony Blair's wife. And you know who owns APM Terminal? It's one of the things that have suffered our people. Who is Tony Blair to APM Terminal? Wasn't his wife the one that wrote the report? To you, Brother Stanton, you say you see nothing linking him to the energy deal and whatsoever. Yes, you are absolutely correct. But you have seen something linking him to the Pan-African Group, as well as chairman on the board of directors of the IB Bank under Madam Sally that still exists today. Don't we have the right to ask questions if the things were bogus? Who brought Kumis to the country? It was Ellen. Who brought Pan-African Group? Ken Ofori-Atta and stealing them. It was Ellen. So why was Kumis serving on the board of directors? Why was Kumis on the board of directors for Chevron? All of these companies just say gave us a bogus agreement. Was Kumis not a part of the deal by virtue of his service to those groups? What did he do? Are we wrong for asking questions? Yes, you may come here and say you talking about your life. My life? My life is not better than Harry Greaves, as it took back. My life is not better than what's his name? Allison, that Michael Allison. My life is not better than the 6 auditors who discovered a lot of bogus things. And I was not the one that said I will protect Madam Serif and her children. It was George Weah. I was not the one that Ellen gave the highest honor to. It was Mr. Kumis. And as we sit on this platform, and we mean well for our country, it is not a bad thing to ask Mr. Kumis that, oh, you have been with these people. You serve with these people. We saw the bogus agreement. What role did you play? That witchcraft performing? Is it not my right to know? Is it not? So why are you questioning me for asking Kumis to come and tell Liberian people the role he played? Why are you people afraid?
Thank you, Fagon. The time is
Weston, let me land on this note. Weston, who is with him today, was with Investment Commission. Belete, who he driving around, took 5.9 million from us. You ask Belete how he got the money? What role did Kumis play from 2007 until now that we have discovered it? Can he tell us? Then you'll come here, you won't beat me down. This battle is just beginning. And I'm not a coward. And let me let you know, what I showed those people had nothing to do with you coming here to tell people that Fagon said he's scared. Fagon been living in the danger zone. Maybe you scared, but not me. Death only comes by once, not every day. I'm not afraid. That's why I did what I did in Liberia, and I'm doing it now. So call your Kumis, let him kind of explain himself, rather than try to put me down. Thank you.
Stanton, yep, turn.
Ava, are we doing the timekeeping? Are you there, Ava? We're doing 3 minutes, right? We're not hearing you, Ava.
I'm not keeping time because you consistently use me and you're trying to impugn my integrity. So you keep the time.
If you're integrity on timekeeping again.
Yes. Both the ANC
so I mean, put your club right in the corner there, but we see about your club ain't good for her. But let me say this though. Let me say this. Thank you, Ava. For my 3 minutes, just to satisfy the argument, because since Fagon did that podcast today, I was at my daughter's graduation, to be frank. A lot of things were coming my way and say, where are the documents? We want to see what Fagon talking about. Let me ask Fagon. One, I will use my time to ask you, Fagon. If you want to answer me, fine. If not, that's okay. Was Cummins actually on the board of directors for the energy company?
I don't know about any energy company that you are talking about. What I'm talking about is IB Bank. What I'm talking about is Chevron. What I'm talking about is the Pan-African Group. Those are the three I need. And if you go to Pan-African Group or you go to the IB stuff, you were supposed to see it. Actually, I send you writings on it.
Yeah, but we gotta be clear now because what you send me, we gotta now our folks that follow us on Spoon, they need a better understanding. Are you saying Alexander Cummings, he was on the board for Chevron? Am I correct? In Liberia, was he a board member?
Hold on, I want to send it to you so you can read it yourself and send it to the Liberian people.
You can send it to James and let's just put it up. And while you're doing that, let
Wait,
me go. Let me go to.
I will read it first before I send it.
No. You did that today. We want to put it up. Please send it to James and we'll answer the question. Let me move to Mo Ali. Mo Ali, let me bring you in for my side of this thing. It will help me better understand. And I will yield maybe 15-20 seconds of my time to you if Ava is keeping track. I want to focus this thing on George Manawia, the president of the Republic of Liberia. Please help me understand what happened today in the House, in the Senate. What's happened? What actually, has it ever happened before? And I know we got a clip. I want you to take 20 seconds of my time and tell Liberians, and we're going to play this clip. Is George Manawia in danger this election coming out that the people are going to reject him massively on what you saw today at the Capitol building?
You know, I listened to the speech of, I think it was Francis P. or Senator Kuhn, when he said in 2019 the staffers gathered in similar faction, not big like today, and pledged support to Senator Dillon. And in that instance, Senator Dillon won Thomas Parda massively. He cited another instance also where staffers welcomed and pledged support for another person, and that person also won massively. And so this is the third time. Now, the Senate does not have thousands of staffers. They have hundreds of staffers. And the majority of those people gathered today, and the song they sang, George We Are Go, We Tire. You know, is that Grable song? I think it's a gospel song that they sing, Now We Are Oh. But they change it around like I usually hear, Joe We Are Go. And the statements these senators made, and as they were sitting, I think it started up with 4 senators. Senator Dillon, Senator Youngbley Lawrence, Senator Kuhn, and Senator Prince Moe. Later on, Senator James Barney joined them. Francis P. joined them. Javon Smith joined them.
I know that's my time, Mo. I don't want you to eat my time because Ava looking at me, probably I ran all of time now. But real quick, okay, and for my second round, I will come back to Fagon to ask him about this Cummings issue. But I want to put this thing towards President We Are for now. The song they were playing, you said what? There was some Joe We Are Go.
Joe We Are Go. Do we have it? George We Are Go. Is it Joe We Are Go? We tire. We tire suffering. George We Are Go. We on Rukun. Exactly.
Yeah,
some of the things, the harmonization.
All right, I'll call you. All right, thank you very much, Ava. I appreciate it because the thing is that you said my time is up. I was trying to find that clip, folks. Let me say this: if I have questions, I will ask, and that's how I'm going to use my time on the show. But again, like Mo Ali said, when the people begin to sing and say, "Joe We Are Go, Joe We Are Go, we tire," and put all the slogans, all the other thing in between it, we must play that clip. But during my second round, I will play it because if you're on the other side of the aisle, your opposition, go after the person you want to remove, except when you are saying you are undercover. So I rest. Thank you, Ava, for monitoring the time. Dr. Richardson.
You calling Eugene undercover?
I didn't call anybody undercover.
You
want to bring problem here? You want to be problem here?
I want problems.
Mo Ali, Ray, Remy Grave, took by.
I don't want peace.
Mo Ali.
Shaking to the core.
Okay, so thank you. And so I will continue. The other instance I was forgetting about was 2020 election. the special senatorial election, the staffers gathered in similar manner, welcomed Senator Dillon, and pledged support for him. That election, Senator Dillon got more than 300,000 votes. And I agree, it was the collective effort of the CPP, 4 political parties and individuals. And I know people want to say in 2017, 19 senators gathered and pledged support for Ambassador Boakai. Well, I would think this is an entirely different condition. In 2017, most of the opposition and many Liberians were saying we do not want a third term of the United Party. We want to change them. We want to try another person. Besides that, Mr. Weah has been trying. We think we should give him the opportunity. In this one, it is not difficult to campaign because they are there. They have seen what Mr. Weah has done. They are feeling the pinch of what Mr. Weah has done from their people. Like when you listen to Senator James Barney, you listen to Senator Javon Smith, Senator Francis Pay, all of them, the chorus is just the same. The people are suffering. And the bad part about it is that when the people suffer, every government official can feel the pinch too. And that's why I always like to quote the reggae music by Joseph Hughes, Culture. You know, he said, Mr. Rich Man, share the riches with the poor. Because if you don't share the riches with the poor people will share the poverty with you. The beggars worry, and the person they are begging, that person also worries. Because if you are at your house and 6 o'clock, you got people lined up, you get up in the morning to even get outside your house, it's a difficult thing. So these senators, these representatives, they feel the pinch also. And so for us, you may want to downplay what happened today at the Senate, but we thought it was a boost. And more than that, the profound nature of the statements that were made, particularly by Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence. She said, as the mother of this rescue team, I will call on all of my children in the Senate and in the House of Representatives to take this campaign seriously. And there was something else she said. She said, I am going to give assignment to all of them. Kun will deliver Nima, I will deliver the Basel belt along with my people. Dillon will deliver
While your time is up, please. I'd like to turn the panel to Reverend Greg.
Samuel,
but we will not be seeing the time now. That time I will see.
We're a slow speaker. No, Fangon, I don't have speech impediment. I'm just not loud. I'm not loud and verbose as you would be. So you can never compare your level of presentation to mine. I teach university students and they walk away understanding. My brother, we don't have to have the same biological makeup. But let me go forward and say the precedent that is set when a group of civil servants will coalesce in a hall and endorse a candidate, I wonder whether it will be angry if the police, the immigration, and other security agency will coalesce in one hall and pledge support for President Weah. Are we going to call them partisan police? Are we going to call them names? Because every civil servant is left within their own individual right to pledge support. But we're saying that when you find yourself in a corridor such as a civil service corridor, you should support, but it should be in your heart. Us police, military people, for instance, I was a politician in the military, but not one day I demonstrated any level of politicking because it goes against Article 47 of the UCMJ. I could lose and be sent to jail. Matter of fact, I could spend years behind bars just if I just identify my political lineage. I don't think it's a good thing for people to be using governmental structure, public structure, to declare support for one candidate or the other. Not because maybe people say, "Oh, he didn't endorse Mr. Cummings, so therefore that's why he's angry." No, it's a precedent that is being set, and we're happy today, but tomorrow the dice could roll on the other side, and that's when you want the changes to be made. And I think that should be frowned upon, whether it's coming from Yumbly or whether it's coming from any other lawmaker. Our public facilities should not be used for campaign purposes. I remember when I think it was Minister Samukai and others were showed on television sitting at a campaign rally. They were frowned upon, and we believe that precedent still stands. For me, the only thing I would say is this: if we are going to set this as a precedent, then don't get angry tomorrow when somebody else take advantage of that situation. We have become societal watchdog. It is our responsibility to always speak when someone is breaking the rule. And I'm not sure why people will even be clapping, why even Youngblade will be saying that. If that is the case, then our people should begin to start thinking about having opportunities to recall senators, such as those who incite them to go against their code of ethics and code of conduct. But again, I'm going to pivot and say, in as much as we want to make everything about partisan politics, now let's begin to see what these politicians who want to lead us, what they'll bring when they are put in power. One would wonder, what was Mr. Bucker's role in all the 66 concessions signed? Don't tell me he was just a spectator sitting down there watching 66 bad, bogus concession signed, and then as somebody who is the referee was not able to call the play. If you tell me that the role of his role as someone who presides over the
Remy Gray, I just saw the time went off. Thank you very much. Avatokwa,
but what have I into the day to Remy and did it to move?
That's fine. If it's
You see it?
Hey, ANC people, in time, all y'all corrupt us.
So you blind too? The medicine really affecting you?
Thank you, Dr. Richardson, for catching it, because you didn't do it. You did it to move.
What?
The next time was all that Dr. Richardson had to say, thank you, Remy, your time off.
Thank you, man.
Who gave the indication that the time was over?
Ava, please just go on your turn. Let's just.
No, but it didn't mean.
Ava went like this. Ava went like this.
I went like this first, and then I did like this.
We didn't see it.
You blind. But anyway, couple of things, Eugene. First with you, I said you referenced the 66 other 68 concession agreements. And I asked you if you read the report about them. I never said you flagged any report on your show. No, that's not what I said. Okay? So hopefully you understand it. Hopefully you can go and read about those 66 other 68 agreements, what happened with them, who they were, the time frame and everything, because hopefully we'll be getting the man who actually was at Leyte at the time those reports were produced. He will come on to explain to the public the reason why Leyte, which is the which is the institution that looks for transparency in our extractive sector and manages all these different concessions in terms of an oversight role and to make sure that they are compliant. So they kind of put that on process audit forward. Okay. So yeah. So the other thing is, yesterday, I believe there were accusations of Mr. Cummings going to Charlene House. That was a total lie, Stanton. I don't know who informed you or who told you that. I just want the public to know there's no truth whatsoever with that particular situation. And for people to be extracting still pictures and making inferences without any indication of time, I just think it's disingenuous and it's not honest. We should be informing people properly. To just show picture of Mr. Cummings in car with ability, or Mr. Cummings in car with ability and where he need and Whistler, to infer something about, concessions and him being a no car and 16 billion coming in the country to what they call the bank name, all those things are wrong. And let me tell you a little bit about Charlene, because we know people pushing all this country Congo thing. At this point, the identity politics should not be divisive and negative. We are all Liberians. I don't know today how many people can even say, oh, a pure Congo man. It's just not realistic for us to be this divisive of our people. So the labeling, I'm sorry Al Hussein is not here today because he has become the godfather of that, and hopefully he would, divert from that path that he's been on. But Charlene heritage will come up shortly. Her grandparents. One is Gola, pure Gola, even though they were wards to, Congo family. Her grandfather on her mother's side, the same way, indigenous raw Bassa man from the Dewey tribe, town in Grand Bassa. Thank you. So let's try to focus on issues like, Mo said, about what our candidates can do for us, what difference they can bring to this country as we try to replace the we are government, rather than try to go through all the histrionics.
Yes. Thank you. I think, can someone time me? Let me be allotted mine 2 or 3 minutes as well.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. I've been giving. I'll give you 3.
Thank you. Moali, I agree with you, and I also want to say I agree with Ava that we should focus on the leaders that we have now that are causing a lot of problems for our people, Liberians, in terms of education, healthcare, and the economy. But I'm getting somewhat mixed messages when people say, let's focus on the CDC government, but at the same time we'll say, oh, did you guys see how Rescue 1 was endorsed in the Senate today? So it's confusing to me because on the one hand, you are talking about Rescue 1 and Rescue 2 endorsement, but on the other hand, you are telling us that, oh no, let's focus on CDC. I actually believe that, again, my views may be different. I will criticize Rescue 1 because Rescue 1 is running for president. He was being paid by taxpayers, especially when these BOCUS agreements were signed. Those BOCUS agreements could have improved the lives of Liberians. This is why this is very, very important to me. Okay. The resources, the value of our resources, this is what we're talking about. The value of our iron ore, the value of our gold, the value of the land that the plantation, the palm oil palm plantation is on. Those things could have contributed to building Bomi, Cape Mount, Nimba, Bon County. We don't always have to be begging other people, getting loans, indebting our country, simply because somebody mismanaged the resources. So that's one thing I wanted to focus on. I think it's important to speak about all of the leadership. Secondly, Mr. Cummings is a private citizen. Okay, he's not. He's not. I'm listening to Ava. He's not. Mr. Cummings is a private citizen. He's not. He was not in government. Bokar was elected by the people. He has been the one in government. George Weah was elected by the Liberian people.
I'm gonna say again, give me all your people in 4 minutes.
No.
Add to my time, okay? Because apparently I can't speak without.
I
must be such a threat on this show sometimes. I cannot speak without being interrupted. Listen, so the people who were elected, we need to hold them responsible. Yes, if Mr. Cummings gets elected and he is has a vice president that presides over 66 BOCUS agreement or even one BOCUS agreement, you will hear my voice. I'm not going to be quiet. And lastly, I want to agree with Remy Gray. Recently, am I up?
No, well, do that. 10 seconds remaining.
10 seconds. Okay. Recently, the NEC called for people violating campaign laws. I believe using public space to campaign or endorse anyone is a violation.
Thank you.
The whole thing is damn fake with this time. I don't trust that guy, man, for real.
I tell you, I'm you
That means all the time.
Our people. But let Mo Ali keep the time for you. Say you trust Ivan.
They can see it.
That means supposed to turn on.
No, that you saw the time. I mean, what are you doing? So that Eugene.
All right. The first thing, let me provide some education, Remy, is that, and by the way, by the time you tell me the university that you're teaching at, and I can research it and see you there, then I will believe that. But let me say this. The police, the army, the security, by law, cannot do that. So you say, oh, they will endorse this person, and why would we say, by law, they cannot? And I'm speaking in my capacity as someone well-versed with what I'm telling you. By law, you cannot engage in political activities as a police officer, an army man, security. That's it. Thank you for your understanding of the law. Now, Stanton, put it, the man cleaning there, put it up. Put Martina up one by one. Let me show the Liberian people. Don't be scared. And he said,
you got a producer called James. Call James. Don't call me. I'm here on the show.
Okay,
I
but
don't
Stanton,
work
have you read some of it? Yes or no? Have you read it?
Yeah. I mean, what you sent me, there you go. Let the Liberian people see it.
He also served as independent director of Chevron Corporation. Now, International Bank Liberia Limited is right under there. If you go back up again, sir, you will see. There, hey, I'm not making up stories. This is Eugene Fagona, it's facts versus fiction. The truth of the matter is, Ellen brought him with the Pan-African Capital Group. Ellen brought Kumis. All the thing that you're talking, and I don't envy Kumis, but Kumis was there. My point of contention is Kumis was there. Mo, are you hearing me? Mo Ali, are you hearing me? Kumis was there from the get-go. All two of our economic activities, Honor Ellen Kumis was there. Under the Pan-African Capital Group, he should tell us about all the investments. He served on the board of the RB Bank. He was with Chevron. There are two positions he was holding with Chevron. The one in the WEPO place and the one in our place. He should tell us. I said, don't look at me like that. I'm not against Kumis. But I said, Kumis, come and explain to us what you know. Am I wrong? Because there is a lot that he knows. This RB banking and took over investment in our country. Not RB, but Pan-African Capital Group. The Kimbe took over. Yeah, there you can see Alexander B. Kumi, chairman, messing on the MISSR and the RB Bank. They were paid from there. A voucher to Alexander B. Kumis. Yeah, there. Then you see, I just started talking to him today. What's that? That more Ali keeping my time. That more Ali than you. So, I'm only saying, yes, we should not attack Kumis. We should not attack each other. But you people have put Joseph Boakai under immense pressure for this success bogus agreement. I am here as conductor of the train. I said, Kumis, come and explain why you know. My Ellen brought you. And you've been taking care of all my early economic operation. So come and tell us what you know. Because you were there on all the economic and the investment. The moment you left from there, Ellen put her brother-in-law, Estrada Bernard, there. And then when you left from there, when Joria won, you closed down the whole.
We're going to move on to Stanton. Stanton, your turn, please. Your time is up. Thank you.
So I got 3 minutes. I gave you 10 seconds of my 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. As soon as he left from there, we believe there was a strategy to close down the Liberian people from every investment opportunity to make the Liberian people suffer and to turn against a government.
I mean, powerful.
At the end of the day, what happened? The Liberian people suffered. Today we see Ellen involved with trying to handpick somebody to be Kumi's VP. If it's not Finlay, then the boss there, Nyobli Kanga. If it's not Nyobli Kanga, then where Charlie Bason is, I forgot, funny. So at the end of the day, Ellen is still involved. We suffer. Okay, my 30 second finish, I'll go back to you.
Thank
So
you.
we don't want Ellen 13.
Thank you. Let me say
Joseph
this real quick,
Ogabuka
folks.
clean it.
Yeah, with the last 2 minutes, 22 seconds I have, let me say this. First, Mr. Toba, my dear friend, I think you are in error. And I say this with the highest respect I have for you. Some of these things, transaction meetings happening in Liberia, I'm so disappointed that you guys that are find yourself in the highest arcade of the country, y'all don't know. There was a meeting here yesterday. I will go back to it. Nobody lied to you and nobody's stupid here. They had a meeting yesterday. I just cannot reveal what I have in my possession because of the reflection. Okay? But you can believe it's up to you. You can disagree, that's your own. But I never lie. When the meeting was going on, I was part of the meeting because I was receiving pictures. I said it. Okay? I know who spoke to Charlene Bernstein when Cummings and Musa Bedeto were on their way to meet her. I know. I know what is happening. But my sympathy is with Mr. Cummings. Because even those that are around Mr. Cummings begin now to check out and negotiate with the very UP. I will bring that up tomorrow or on another day. What is happening is deeper than every one of us here. So when some ANC folks go on social media to insult, I feel for them. I feel the pain. Because I know what it means to be lied down on and lied to and walk off. Because some of you guys really you don't know what is happening in Liberia. As you sit here in the United States, even when you go back to Liberia, you don't know what the Cummings team, those that are close to Cummings, you don't know what they are doing. So I'm disappointed. But they did, yes, there was a meeting yesterday. And if you push me, I want to show this thing. I just cannot do it because of the sources that is in the reflection of that picture. So let me move on my 22nd. Fagon, not that I didn't believe you, Fagon. Let me say this. 2014, indeed, we're seeing what we're seeing now. We're researching that Mr. Cummings was on the board. 2016, he went to the IBA Bank. We all get this information out there. But my question is, coming back to the time given, up to Madam Selita when Chevron took over. My question to you, and when we come back to you, please answer. Was Cummings part of that negotiation to bring Chevron to Liberia? You can answer it when we get back to you. Please write it down. Was he part of the negotiation to have that special interest to bring Chevron to Liberia? Because it confirmed that 2014, he was placed on the board of Chevron. Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you, timekeeper Azatuba.
Morley, we're going to you now.
You did very well, Stanton.
Yes.
I mean, we're trying, but
yes,
we're trying.
definitely. Yes,
All right,
definitely.
go ahead.
And I quickly like to speak to two things. I heard Remy Gray talked about the issue of staffers declaring support or endorsing, and therefore it is wrong. Firstly, we have to understand that there are two separate groups of staffers. One group for central administration at the Senate, they are civil servants. There are personal staffers, those are not civil servants. And besides that, there is no law that says at the Senate or at the legislature, which is a political ground, that people cannot do endorsement there. That is not some ministry or agency. This is the Liberian Senate we're talking about. And Eugene Fagon already clarified the issue about security. Now, on this issue about the 66 bogus agreement and this and that, firstly, I'd like to state here that being vice president and presiding over the Senate does not give you a voting right in the Senate. So Joseph Boakai was not the one lobbying or telling the senators how to vote. He can only have voting right when there is a tie. In the Liberian Senate, in my entire life, I have not seen a vote a tie voter. Now let's come to even the most Stevens audit report we're talking about. Many people have not read this report and they just go by 66 Bogot agreement. Stanton, the most Stevens agreement audit found that among 68 agreements, only 2 met all of the standards, 100%. Now, 66 agreements not meeting all requirements does not make them bogus. It doesn't make them a failed requirement, a failed concession agreement. It's like you go to school, 100% is the highest mark that you can score. It doesn't mean that when you score 80, then you fail. It does not mean that when you score 90, then you fail, or 75 or 85 or so. They say 2 met 100%. The others did not mean 100%, did not make them or does not make them bogus. Now I challenge anyone to show me in that most Stevens audit report where it says 66 agreements were bogus. It says 66 did not meet 100%. That does not mean that some never met 80. That does not mean that some never met 90. That does not mean that some never met 85. They all met passing mark, but they were not 100% passing mark. And these are things that people do not read, they do not understand properly. And because of politics, we come to the Liberian people and give them all sort of misleading information. Again, if these agreements were all bogus, how can we still have some of those concession agreements in Liberia and Liberians are benefiting from them? They are employed in those companies that we term as bogus. Against the challenge is out there to Dr. Richardson and all of the people who say bogus agreement. I am challenging you, look in the most Stevens audit report and tell us exactly, excuse me, where in that report that said 66 of the agreement failed. It says they did not meet 100%. And I just wanted to get this point completely out so that everybody can understand that not meeting 100% means that you fail. 100% is the highest we can all go for. There are benchmarks set. Even in the MCC, the benchmark that are set, in order to meet passing mark, they say there are certain amount of the benchmark that you should meet. They didn't say meet everything 100%. The other day they say when Liberia passed, we met 13 out of all of the I think 20 some more that were set. Why they didn't say Liberia failed this time around? They said we passed because we met the minimum requirement. There are minimum requirements. Those minimum requirements, once they are met, you pass. If we attain 100%, that's okay. We should all fight to meet 100%. But not meeting 100% means that you fail, or as many of us will not pass in school. Thank you.
Can you hear you, madam?
Remy Gray?
Thank you so much. Fango, you can have 4 AA degree and teach, not even high school or middle school. So sleep with that one, okay? You're not going to get me placarding any letters behind me or directing you to go look for where I go. But back to the issue. If we can look at public facilities and say we'll use it for our individual political intentions or simplification. I mean, I want you to tell me, I just imagine a group of staffers in a federal building here using that to endorse one of the candidates. The United States, of course, is the godfather of democracy. But in Liberia, the Code of Conduct clearly says it. Next time when I come here, I will quote some of those sections within the Code of Conduct that prohibits or those sections that prohibit individual from using public facility for campaign purposes in any form. When you endorse, it's a campaign activity. Whether it's done by police, whether it's done by civil servants, they are restricted by the code of conduct from doing such. Because then, how are you going to draw the line? That's why they prohibit using government facility. That includes even vehicles for any sort of campaign purposes, whether by the police or whether by civil servant. I will bring that provision tomorrow. We'll have a session on that. But let's go back to this issue of Cummings having so much influence on how government was run for the last 12 years of Madam Sirleaf. If such a person has that level of authority, how can you come back and say he knows nothing about governmental running? Maybe I'm a third grader. I don't understand English language, but to come back and ascribe that level of authority on an individual, how government wills and deals, how government is run, and you can come out here and say this person got no governmental experience. He's not running Coca-Cola. He's managing people bottles and sweets and so on and so forth. Not human being. But at the same time, the next day when we wake up, you're saying that he has so much authority controlling how government was run, including concessioneering. Then who are we going to believe? The gentleman who spoke yesterday and said this guy ran a corporation that deals with object, government deals with people, or the guy who showed up today and saying that this was the same guy who literally ran the government of Madam Sirleaf and Ambassador Joe Boyka. So it leaves us with lots of confusion. And sometimes just wait for the next day to show up, because the same individual who is speaking today may have a different say tomorrow that totally contradicts what was said the previous day. And I'll leave it here, but at the same time, we have to have some level of integrity even when we discuss, because posterity might hold us tomorrow. Today's activity, determine what happened yesterday. Posterity will always hold you accountable.
Thank you, Remy Gray. Ava will go to you, and then I'll make my final comments, and then we'll go to the phone line at 6. I want us to go at 6:30, just so that people in Liberia can go home.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Let me check our time. Let me check our time.
Then when I come to us.
Yeah, but we were kind of all Lazo. And when I end with you.
We can do. I don't care what the time. I just
yeah, but you want anything between Remy, ANC.
No, but we are the last. We are always last. You guys
Richardson, ANC.
No, we are the last. We always go like this.
No, the two of y'all, it was beginning in y'all. Come be beating your every day. Seriously.
You can't make it. I will turn you with rock.
Francis, can I just read from the code of conduct so people can understand it, so our people don't go home uninformed?
But why you can be sending this thing, my man? You have to.
I'm just trying to
go ahead and read.
No, but you got to send it. If you send it, let's put it up for us not to say you reading something.
I was saying the link. It's running. Website.
But read it now, read it. But Jet Nestor would love to put it up. Let the people read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember your time up, you get 30 seconds to your time.
That free time, that spoon.
No,
time.
don't do that shit. No, your time. My man, you'll be muted.
I don't have any.
It says 19 now.
Yeah, your time running, my man. Your time running.
My time has not started because I ain't started speaking yet. Now my time.
You still talking.
Start.
Look, seriously, there is more substantive that we need to do. I would just advise Eugene, when you make these kind of claims, attach a time frame to it. When you say Mr. Cummings was on a board, be clear what time he was on that board. Okay, so go and do your research and find a specific time he was on Chevron board in America. He was on Chevron board in Liberia. He was on Chevron board with on the IB Bank board. Because it just good because it just seems like you commingle so many stuff that just totally unrelated and try to find a thread that relates them. That's not good. That's not good. That's just extreme conspiracy mindset that you carry on with you. But we'll be here to check some of those faulty things. So, for instance, the point you are making, yes, we can critique other people in the opposition. Stanton, you want
Becky, I want to ask you something about you get your time. Becky, it's important to ask you this though.
Sure.
But not that I'm taking Eugene's side, but he said 2014, right? Chevron, 2016, the IB Bank. You wasn't listening. Maybe you didn't pay attention though.
And I can't even show him.
No.
A project that Chevron did with JFK in 2015, brother.
All right. So you can go ahead. I just trying to
who
check.
Says Chevron didn't do project yet? That not the issue.
On his board of director thing.
Again, that's not the issue.
My man, tell you 2 minutes. Don't spoil it here, man.
Specify the time for the 3 boards that you claim he was on: Chevron America, Chevron Liberia, and IB Bank. That's all.
I was Chevron. Don't just tell you 2 minutes. I can't do it.
Okay, thank you.
Now,
we can critique our, opponents in the opposition. We can critique the record. We can critique the platforms. But the level of viciousness that we see, that's what I'm talking about. Nobody say just give somebody a free pass. No. But the level of vitriol, the level of anger, is like hate. We don't need that in this dispensation, because at some point we have to work together. Right? That second round is very critical if we are serious and we are of common purpose to make sure that President Weah does not have the opportunity to further ruin the country. So we got to be clear on that. And again, with the fact checking here, it's very important for us to, deal with some level of integrity and honesty as we have these engagements, because there's so much rich content that we can bring to people on so many other topics that the grime that we try to inject here sometimes it's just not useful. So folks, do your research properly, and hopefully, Stanton, you can bring up the link I sent you for the what they call the people, the code of conduct, so you can see just at a high level. 5.8 is specific to people in the executive branch in terms of their political affairs. They cannot be involved. It doesn't restrict people in a legislative branch, and not even the judiciary. I'm surprised. On the other side, with regards to facilities, you're right, and Remy, nobody's supposed to use government facilities for political reasons or government cars or all that kind of stuff. So the usage at that particular time, or government employee hours, because it was supposed to be at work at that time, that was wrong and unlawful, in contravention of the code of conduct. So hopefully those lawmakers will not be coercing or pushing their employees. If they want to do it, let them do it on their own time, not on the taxpayers' time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava. So, when we come here on a daily basis, we want to expand information that the Liberian people already have. When, my good friend Mo Ali says, there's no law that says that you can't exercise your campaign in the state house. Just because, Mo Ali, there isn't a law doesn't mean that it is good for the Liberian people. This is why we are free thinkers. This is why we go to school to think, okay? Slavery was on the books of the United States. It wasn't a law, but we realized how bad it was for the United States and the growth of the United States. So that's why it was abolished, all right? So I want us here to think clearly. When you endorse someone on public ground or run campaign on public ground or exercise campaign teams or even put in the Morovia, I was just there last week, there's campaign banners all down the corridors of Sinca. It is not good for our democracy. And that's because there is no law to something. That doesn't mean that it's good, okay? Secondly, good day, could you please put out, I went to school, Mo Ali. When we talk about 66 Bocas agreement, let me break it down for you, okay? This is where their Stephen Moore, auditing company, says there was the legal requirement for private use permit applications was not met in 18 of the agreements. Okay, they took the land without providing any kind of transparency to the people who own the land. In 18 of them, the lack of social agreement between landowner and investors in 10 agreements, the lack of public procurement, our law that says that you have to have a transparency in who is taking over different governmental properties or government land. It was not met in 18 of the agreement. Inconsistent private use permit contract, 2 agreements. So when you come here, Mo Ali, and tell Liberian people that this 66 brokers agreement, only 2 didn't meet the 100% pass mark, you mean to tell me that our government spent all this time, or the government that was presided over by Joseph Boakai, the Senate that was presided over by Joseph Boakai, spent all that time reviewing, getting paid by taxpayers to only pass 2 good agreements? That's what you're trying to tell me? Only 2 got 100%? That's what they were being paid for, to look out for the best interest of the Liberian people. So please, I went to school more. Don't come and tell me what the agreement was supposed to say. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Richardson. But it speaks to, again, the Pan-African Capital Group that Ellen, and your friend Cummins brought to our country. That's the kind of things they were doing under Ellen's government. And I think you should blame Cummins. That's why I'm here. But let me start by saying, Remy, ask Samuel Jackson. The 4AA degree, I got it from Northeast State. My bachelor, I got it from East Tennessee State University with over 13. I show you my honors, I got it from ETSU. Show me the place you teach it. And if you want a copy of what the university sent to Samuel Jackson, ask him. He will furnish you. Show me where you teach it. Don't be scared. Now.
Okay. Excuse me. You mentioned my name, and please give me the opportunity.
Oh, but you're becoming emotional. I said,
I'm becoming emotional.
You gotta wait. Now you moderating. You gotta wait. When we come back,
I'm just as calm. Let me just tell you.
Yeah, but wait now.
You are the one
Dr. Richardson.
When you yell and you're
Dr. Richardson, wait now.
I just want
Dr. Richardson, we're doing good. We're doing, Dr. Richardson, we're doing good. Just wait small. I beg you, but my wait. That you on the show. Fagon, go ahead.
Hey, Fagon. What Fagon just said to you, all that thing you're reading, that was Ma Ellen and her son Cummins, that brought a whole team taking the people land, not signing the paper, that day, that the Pan-African group of which Cummins was a part, they bought the International Bank Liberia Limited. Cummins were on the board. When Cummins came 2014 to 2016, approved it to Stanton. He was on Chevron. I even sent him another article where, as chairman of the board, they were facing JFK. I said that Ma Ellen and her son, Cummins, so that they do all that thing you preaching and helping you.
No, you're not helping me. That's correct.
That's why I want Cummins to come and explain.
No, Dr. Richardson, you gotta wait, Mama. You gotta wait. No, Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you can't do that. No, you cannot be Dr. Richardson. You cannot be the lawmaker and lawbreaker. You gotta wait. We gotta be law-abiding citizens. We gotta be law-abiding citizens. Dr. Richardson, no, you gotta wait. Today, part you will wait. No, Dr. Richardson, you will wait today, part.
And
you can't do that. Someone I want to talk. Yeah. Someone I want to talk, Dr. Richardson.
He called my name.
Yeah, well, you were in the show. But you were in the show. Wait, Mama, be patient.
No, I don't want to forget my train of thought.
No, write it down. You go to school. You the doctor on the show. Write it down.
No, I think it's important for me to rebut.
No, Dr. Richardson, don't spoil our show. Don't spoil it. We're doing so good. Hey, I say, talk to your sister. We're doing so much good right now. Yeah, I beg you, Mama. We're doing good right now. Let the man finish. My man finish with your time.
The man had ample time and you're just protecting him. That's what you're doing.
Say to the answer. Okay. Now you just telling me.
No, you have talked for more than 4 minutes.
Hey, God, no.
You're repeating what you are saying.
It sounded like 4 minutes to you, but not 4 minutes.
No, it didn't sound. It was 4 minutes.
Fago, you mad too much.
My Ellie brought her son. Give her son the highest honor. Her son was already on Chevron board in America. Even the one in Liberia, they put him there. They put him on the RB bank. That the same people are talking about board. They lane you talking about, Mama. And Ellie people then take it.
No, that is wrong, Fago.
But Dr. Richardson win now.
Dr.
Richardson, no. Dr. Richardson, can somebody call Abraham? Dr. Richardson, you gotta win, Mama. I beg you, Mama.
On this show right now, you give him more time. You give him more to provide misinformation to the Liberian people. It was not Ma Ellen who brought Mr. Cummings.
And Ma Ellen was the president.
Listen. Listen,
I beg you, let the woman talk. I beg you, let's just talk. Let's just stop the special talk.
Of correction, you claim, okay, that Mr. Cummings was a board member of several of these companies that you mentioned. The information or the law that Mr. Cummings brought to bring these concession companies to the country, as you claim, they came to the people, the legislature, the body who's supposed to protect Liberians, okay? You claim Mr. Cummings was part of the people who made laws or made investors' decision for Liberians. And those decisions went to a body, the legislature, to protect Liberians. They were elected. They were being paid by Liberians to protect Liberians. And they failed to do that. They were presided over by Joe Bucker.
I hope you all realize that you're taking more time than we'll take our time too. So nobody will tell you 2 minutes finish.
I'm not finished.
It wasn't.
So for you to
it wasn't your time, and you hijacked the time. I'm just saying it.
Falsehood to the Liberian people, saying that Ma Ellen brought Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings came, if as you claim, making decisions for the Liberian people, and took the information to the legislature, who were in charge of deciding and making rules in the best interest of Liberians, and they failed to do that. I show you the 66 Booker's concession agreements, and I showed you how it broke down in terms of 18 of them didn't meet the mark. 2 of them didn't get license permit. About 5 of them or more didn't meet social contract agreement. I just posted that. So the people who are elected to protect the Liberian people failed to do their job, and that's what we should be focusing on. Thank you very much.
Since you were calling my name, can I come in too?
More. We're going on. I beg you, because I will speak and you will come in. Fagon, can you finish up, please? You are muted, Fagon.
She disturbed me whole day. I will talk again. If you don't know
muted, Isaac. We're not
how
hearing you.
ANC was funded, I will tell you today. ANC was a breakaway from the CDC. You see, so that what Cummings went and bought.
You're wasting our time saying that, Fagon. Honestly, we don't need that on the show right now. You don't have to give us a whole lecture on.
But Dr. Richardson, can he please speak,
maybe for the
please?
audience. Okay, for the audience.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Go ahead, Fagon.
The person who was the president of people of Liberia was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That Ellen Johnson Sirleaf who brought Cummings and made Cummings the highest order of the land to our people. He had to give him the peace declaration. After my Ellen gave him the peace declaration, before that time, that then in 2007, who brought this group, the Pan-African Capital Group? You know that, you will see him there. The Pan-African Group, they don't want by the Abi Ben Yossi in Monrovia. The Abi Ben Yossi in Monrovia, that Cummings was a big man for the whole boy. Then, and the insurance company, then Cummings moved from there again. One company they call Chevron. Cummings was on the people then bow. But when the Chevron came to Liberia, Cummings went and put himself on the people bow again. My Ellen put him there. As independent, listen to the other new one, what they made, independent member of the board. They put him on that board again. From 2014 to 2016, all the link there, I will supply it to the man for him to put it on the website so you can read about Cummings. The 66 Boga agreement, JMB was vice president, he was not the president, that Ellen was the president. And their investment group went into the country and bring all that investment. Ellen put Kumi there for Kumi to work for her. Kumi was there with the people. I don't want to say, hey, if you don't believe it, we put all the link there on the website. The only reason why they want to put me on the show tonight, that because I say, Kumi Moka explain what he know for all the things that happen. This Chevron they're talking about, 10.5 million, while I see it, you're going to beat on my head. They bought 3 all black. From the same group, the female of the group, they call him Stephen Cashin. The men who are working with Kumis, they call him Ken Ofori Atta. He the one, the new finance minister in Ghana. He took it in 2017. When Kumi left from there, Ellen said, oh, you going? He said, yeah. And he said, I'm going to run to be president. So, Ellen said, okay, go. Then Ellen put her brother-in-law there, Estrada Bernard, who married to Ellen's sister, Jenny Bernard. She put Estrada there. If you go, Kumi's on all the PBT there. So the whole brokers agreement, 66, what they do, that Kumi's them company, they call it Pan-African Capital Group, led by Stephen Cashin. All I say, and I accuse them, I say the Mokan
I can't say anything. They protected. Fagon can talk whatever way you want for how long.
No, the man tell that you interrupt me.
Yeah, you say
your
time
5 seconds.
No, your time up, my man. The man finish signal, you say your time over. Let's see my talk.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, folks. Again, that's a wonderful program. We appreciate you hanging up with us. This is what we do.
I
just want to say, Fagon, again, the story about Mr. Cummings serving on the board of Chevron, we will dig deeper on it. The story about Mr. Cummings serving RBD, what the bank name is, and you tie Mr. Cummings to Madam Salif. You tie Mr. Cummings to everything that is happening through our Liberia Energy Center. You say Mr. Cummings worked with the current finance minister in Ghana at the time, and now they are buddy. We will dig deeper, and we'll have a full program on it tomorrow. I didn't know, folks, Liberians. I didn't know. Okay, I just thought Mr. Cummings was only Coca-Cola. I understand Mr. Cummings served on the board at J&J, yeah, how they call that, Johnson & Johnson, and other, group over here. I didn't know he was part of this Chevron Energy deal that involved, this was one of the worst things that ever happened to Nocal. I have friends that work at Nocal. I didn't know Mr. Cummings, if it is true, I'm not confirming this, because this thing hit me today. I'm going to look into it, and we're going to have a whole show on it tomorrow, because it is important for us to discuss. Again, let me just go back a little bit. I appreciate every one of you guys. Beautiful show. And I want to play this because I feel so good. The remainder of my time, I will play this, and I will leave this for Mo Ali to explain. I hope we can find somebody to run with this music. We need to. This is big when it comes to Liberia. Let's listen. I don't know how many seconds I have. I will play one more time because, folks, Ava, we are not
Joe, we
hearing
are
you.
good.
We are not hearing you, Ava.
We gave you 1 minute 30 seconds to make up for this
Joe,
song.
we are good.
Thank you, Ava. I appreciate it. But again,
Joe,
no
we
more.
are
I want to speak on this.
good.
Hey,
Remember,
Eugene,
stop
man.
interrupting me, Eugene. But
I
what
have
you
a,
man,
I have a question. Are we going to have
let me
no?
finish
Are we going to have a show on Buckeye's record?
Is that what you interrupting me for? Can I finish?
No, I'm asking you.
Asiva.
I mean, it's only fair.
Asiva is not fair.
Eugene.
You see,
I want to know.
whether it's Eugene or whether it's Remy Gray, it's
No,
not good, man.
I want to have a show on Buckeye's record tomorrow.
When it comes to you can ask.
Exactly, man. Come on,
Joe,
man.
we
I
are
respect. But you just start interrupting me, man.
That song too
It's not like Eugene, you are on the call for Joe. We are on the show. When we were to talk about Joe, where are you interrupting us? It's not good.
You don't know Joe, we are people.
You are agent of Joe. We are. But let me say this, Isaac. Let me say this seriously. Add everything you want to add to that song. I think the gentleman that the choir director, his name is Brown. I think that's his name. Add everything. Extrajudicial killing. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go.
We
poverty in the country.
Joe,
we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Stay out of the country for 51 days. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. Joe, we are go. 4 months. 4 months. No salary, no pay. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. Joe, we are go.
Harmonization.
Joe, we are go.
My man, you're not finished today.
Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. Mama, right quick. This is very important. They call the man Barrow Medicine, but Robert International, worst road ever in the history of Liberia. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go.
My man, step up.
We are go.
You the only one who can sing. The only one who can sing in our group. You the only one who can carry note.
I know they gotta messing me up. Let me say again.
Hold on. Get on. Sing 2 bars by yourself. Let the people hear you.
Thank you. And now I told you, Joe, we have men, but you know that you not Joe, we have friends. So that I clap for you on that one. Let me say this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. Joe, we are go. Extrajudicial killing. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. I'm not trying to tell the people 25 million. You say Mapa SSI. Hey, Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. 11 million for rent subsidies. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. No hospital in the country healthcare. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. I want somebody to give me that brand man. We got to bring on the show. I want us to make music out of this thing. The Liberians need to hear this. If you look at yourself tonight, before you go to bed, or some of you are probably going to bed hungry. You are not eating. Your daughter, your son, they are not in school. They have to sell chew gum. Your man, your pa, your grandpa, your grandma in the hospital sick. No medication. The worst healthcare system in the country. We got to bring Brown on to say, Joe, we are go with tire suffering. It took everything in that man to stand in the capital today and sing that song. They left on the line, they don't care. We stop attacking Opposition, stop talking, but then yama yama. The focus is on George Manneh. We are the president of the
violated their
Republic of
code of
Liberia.
conduct. They violated their code of
Don't
conduct.
interrupt me, man. My man, if you do that thing, we'll put you in the back. When
No,
we finish,
no,
you'll
it's
come
been
on.
too.
No, don't interrupt me. No. I'm on
My man,
screen.
play
Don't
our
do
song.
that.
Play a song.
The man already tell you, don't interrupt me. Your time will come, you will talk. Don't do
But
that.
it's been more than
The man, no respect. The man I keeping the time, the man saying I'm gonna go ahead.
10 minutes.
He said, but the man said I'm gonna go
like
ahead.
this already.
Okay, but what you must say? Yeah, but the man interrupting because you got contract with Georgia. Let me play the song one more time again. And I said, thank you very much, Ava, for giving me the time. I think more you can speak. Thank you very much, Remy Gray, for interrupting me.
You know, Stanton, thank you for playing the video. And that was just the beginning of the program today. And I will maintain that absolutely no law was violated today when these guys decided to express themselves. We have to imagine ourselves being in the condition that they are in. These are parents, people who have family members depending on them. They get up every day, go to work, they transport themselves, they feed themselves. And the little $100 that they make at the end of the month cannot come. These people, some of them credit. The money can come. And you expect them to sing praises to the people that have denigrated them to such lifestyle. Everyone in this country has become common beggar. Everyone has become a common beggar. Even the professional people, they go about begging. Everybody you talk to today, the moment you call somebody or someone call you, they say, my man, please drop me small thing. Small thing has become the most common phrase, the most used phrase in Liberia. And this is all happening because we have a government that does not care. So when people get tired, they react in so many ways. And I appreciate them. Look, they can be doing that endorsement for any opposition leader. I will not frown on it. Because these people are doing something to highlight the plight they are going through. This harmonization that the government sings all around as an achievement. Ask any civil servant if harmonization has served them well. Imagine somebody making $600. They have adjusted their lifestyle to making $600. Today you come, you call them and drop their salary to $100. How do you expect the men to adjust? Especially in an economy that is getting hard and harder and harder every day. So for me, these guys did extremely great today. Whether it is for Joseph Walker or Mr. Cummings or Mr. Tiawon Gonglo, I applaud them for what they did. And I will maintain that the Capitol building is a political ground. Yeah, 5 seconds, it's a political ground. And these people must have the right to express themselves on who they want to be president, who they want to be this and that. That right cannot be trampled upon because they are in Capitol building. Thank you. My 5 seconds finish. Thank you.
Is it my turn?
Madam Moderator, I think Remington.
Everybody, please mute and give Remy 10 minutes to speak.
So 10 minutes. I'll just take 2 or 3 minutes. The only thing I say, they say when you're in the driver's seat, be careful how you control the vehicle. Because tomorrow, when you are in the coach or in the back of the car, somebody else driving, don't tell them take the way you can in the vehicle. I'm scared. The thing about it is, we have a rule today that people are not respecting because it's against the other guy. Tomorrow you get there. Always, this is just like the June 7th, we almost step down demonstration the people had. You understand? And some wiser people said, no, you cannot tell a sitting government.
Can I make
to
a
step down.
correction? June 7 was not we are step
No,
down.
no. You cannot interrupt him. I beg you, Mo. Don't
Just a
interrupt him.
correction quickly.
Please don't. No,
Yeah, I beg you.
Whatever campaign that was asked Mr. Weir to step down, whether it was June, whether it was April 7th, whatever it was. But I'm only saying that we set a precedent. Today it's okay. Tomorrow it's somebody else's time because you set the precedent today. If it is wrong today, it should be wrong tomorrow. As far as I know, the code of conduct clearly prohibits someone for using a civil servant for using government facility. You understand? To carry on any campaign activity. If those people are in that shoes today, it's because I'm pretty sure if you reel that tape there, you see individuals who are so vigilant for George Weah to come in power, just as people are vigilant today for somebody else to come to power. Always live by your consequence. I mean, the consequences of your choice or choices. You choose to bring George Weah today. That does not mean you should break another rule to satisfy yourself. And I'd like to be in the record for making this clearly known to those people that there is a code of conduct that prohibits people from doing this. If they want to go and vote somebody else tomorrow, they're singing today. Tomorrow, we'll be here again. We'll be watching them. The thing is, that's why we're presenting a clear choice that will make people's life better. But others are saying, no, they want the other one. So please live by your choices. That's all I can say. If I were George Weah, I would start finding who were involved in that mutiny or in that act of lawlessness and seek to have all of them dismissed. That's how you do it.
3 separate branches of government. You cannot interfere in the other
I
one.
don't think Ed Remy understand who were singing and where they were singing. But we'll move to the moderator. Moderator, can we do our closing now?
Oh, you're not going to the phone line today?
No, phone line tomorrow. After
you
gotta speak.
Then come to me, then y'all can do the closing or we can go to the lines. But anyway, I just want to stress something again, giving a
Dr. Richardson, we're not hearing you though. I'm sorry, Abba. You saying something?
Yeah, Abba, I was gonna say you can speak and then we'll do the closing. Starting with me.
Okay. Yes. Let me make sure I see the starting time. For 3 minutes.
What kind of dialogue is
So we can have narration. This is, specific to Eugene. I don't care how you spin something, you can make it the truth. Maybe the gullible people will believe you, but rational people, thinking people, and people who are able to bring the facts contrary to what you're saying will be able to, stop you. Look at the times that those 68 concessions, the time frame. You have to read the report. I don't want to give you all the information for the report, then you'll be lazy. So please go to the report, confirm the time frame, and put a timestamp to everything that you told about Mr. Cummings, because just saying it out there doesn't make it true. So we just got to keep informing the people consistently with your speculations. I suggest you go to the authorities if you really feel there's a threat on your life, or if you really feel that guy hit you and put some kind of poison in you, go do some kind of blood test. It's possible to detect those kind of things. But to just be saying these claims or any kind of medical intervention, I don't think
it's crazy. Remember, we go do blood tests. They get blood tests for Goa.
Where you go Goa? A Goa on his shoulder?
Well, lead that man before that man say you interrupting.
You're interrupting me. You guys are interrupting me. The next thing I want to tell you is that Charlene has received no threats. I told you the other day, Charlene is a mature young woman.
You rather selling a Charlene campaign to now. That did not ever Charlene. You rather sell it, Charlene.
And I said, hold on. Why you gotta interrupt me anytime I speak?
Okay? Because Irene Gray was interrupting us too. You told him to do it.
So young woman, because she's approaching 50, a couple of years from 50, and the 50 is the new 35. So she really is a young woman, okay? All right. And her beauty helps her. She looks even younger, and that's why the young people relate to her. And that's why there's a fear of this ticket. But you gotta understand, nobody can push Charlene to make any decision she doesn't want to make. You guys,
you tell the Musa today, right?
Just reflect on the pressures, right, that she faced.
Musa has some ability.
When the Liberty Party, my man, don't interrupt my team, man. Talk to our chairman later. Okay, you gotta reflect on the pressure she was under when we were forcing her to take sides in a Liberty Party situation, and she was insisting that they go with what the legal route is. She was principled enough to hold her ground, regardless of whatever she had, friendly relationship, family relationship, emotional relationship with people. She stood her grounds on principles. So we got to respect that. This is not somebody who they'll use any kind of compulsion, coercion, threat to get her to make a decision. No. In this opportunity, how many people in Liberia get an opportunity to be vice president? Very limited. A limited few. That's why it's important that when somebody gets that opportunity, they should use everything they can to leverage it. What do you think? He's using every possibility to leverage it for you to get to that point. Because when you're there, you won't have Res Green. I know Res Green and care people before. That president can be eating. The Res Green go the wrong way to die.
That wouldn't elaborate that what will happen because no hospital there. But thank you.
And you see it? So already telling us we need hospital, and Joseph Burger need to put health care in his plan. That ain't rest. Not correct. We gotta improve it more, Ali. I'm telling you.
We are go.
So
we are go.
So we'll go to the closing because
can we take 10 calls?
What people are
if you care, Mama.
Sure.
Can we take 10 calls? No, I'm asking you, Dr. Richardson, just 10.
Yeah.
Then we can do our closing.
Sure.
All right, Nelson Kola, if you stay there, can you take 10 calls, please? James, good day. Then I will do my closing. I got a video to play for my closing. I will go first.
Okay, so
coming to collapse. She said you'll be calm, it will be okay.
Not a video first, James. Not a video first. Let Nelson take the calls first. Go ahead.
Okay, so folks, you can keep your calls coming to 0555. That's 0555 1010 105 or 0777. That's 0777 7710 1075. So we take our first call here. Hello, you live. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
All right, man. I'm calling from the Commodore side.
Go ahead.
Let me just say this: when it comes to the vice president, wherever it is that the president say he served 12 years and he just do anything for the Liberal Senate. Let me just say this: we are following the issues when it comes to the oversight of the vice president. Let me refer that to Article 51.
Don't waste your time, caller. Don't waste your time. I know the Constitution already.
Can't interrupt everybody.
Yeah, Dr. Richardson, let the man talk.
You're just repeating this thing over and over and over. I'm just tired of hearing it, Ava.
Thank you.
You break down. So I will say this: when it comes to voting, when it comes to discussion, when it comes to debate, the vice president, what's the people you don't have.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take this person. You have to stick in at most 45 seconds. Hello, you live. Good evening. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Chipotle Joseph. I'm a militant of the Vanguard Student Education Party.
Go ahead, Joseph, quickly.
Yeah, and I'm happy that some of the songs of the Vanguard Party have been highlighted by Spoon. The We Are Go song, the song that paraded on the media by Spoon. That song originated from the Vanguard Student Education Party.
Okay, let
and
him
what we stood against ever since before CPP or when TV, all the other people.
Okay, my man. Listen. The team is asking for you to sing that song. So since you say it originated from
Joey Ago,
Okay.
No, let me sing.
We tire, we shopping, it is the working of the Vanguard Student Education Party. This is what we have for after 5 years of nonsense and embarrassment.
Thank you very much for your contribution tonight on the program. Let's take this person. Hello, you live.
Yeah, thank you tonight. My name is Michael Williams, and I join you for PZ tonight.
Williams, go ahead.
My disappointment tonight is strongly on the ANC folks. You see, like what Mo Ali said, appearing on the show every night on the Spoon Talk. When the ANC folks not come after Boakai, I mean, sometimes it really baffles me. I thought we're supposed to be together now so that we can see how best to get this wicked regime out of this country. The people are suffering.
Thank you.
I'm so disappointed in you as my sister.
Thank you.
You sitting in America,
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there for the 5 seconds. Now over. Let's take this person. Hello, you live.
Yeah, Manisa Dawson J-City calling for Ghana Supermarket.
Yeah, go ahead. Make your point quickly.
Yeah, 2023, George Weah will be elected.
Okay.
So Fanco at the end, it will be frustrated.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Yeah,
hello, you live.
It will be frustrated, yeah?
Oh.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. You live. Let's hear you.
No, I don't want to see the song tomorrow.
My man.
Somebody. Let them sing it. They gotta sing it.
Let them sing a song.
Let them sing it. The man said, Joe, we are saved.
The message parent to
Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. We tire. Joe, we are go. Poor education. Joe, we are go. South. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are must go. We tire. Joe, we are must go. Barrow. Joe, we are go. South. Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. The people tired. Joe, we are go. Barrow Hospital. Joe, we are go. No, Joe, we are go. Joe, we are go. The people tired. Joe, we are go. Yeah. Go ahead. Take that one off.
Okay, hello, you live. Go ahead, you live now.
Yeah, my name is Dennis Safar. I call you from Sarara, Lower County.
Okay, from Bon County. Go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, I was going to the Richardson and Gray. I think my brother took out grabbing the concept of the whole something where they started preschool. Dr. Richardson, yes, stop the kind of cheap policy. We already on the ground. We in Ponca, that live in Ponca, that run traffic in Ponca, like and some part of Lofa. I know which way the trees going. We are going for unity party. Coming always book our agreement is and where I feel.
Thank you.
We will go Standard Street, to Standard Street, and say the spirit or the people from the Gray are there. He's well with them. He will stay well with the legislature in a place there. So we didn't want this kind of policy. Yes.
Thank you.
Push a message. Attack the ruling government. This man will suffer too much.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take this person. Hello, you live.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, I'm John Scale, birthday calling my GSO community this evening. Good evening to the panelists.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me be very honest. we have to be careful with recycle politicians in this country. A very huge Fagon is back to back with Dr. Fassin. In Park, he talked to Spoon. He said how those auditors were murdered by this government. When you are part of the government, you never. And all of those misinformation spread, Dr. Fassin never come up. And then we bought us, oh, indeed, wait. But now, you see the back-to-back conversation. And Dr. Fassin on Spoon FM, you guys have to be careful. And I foresee, with all of the contradiction, misleading information by Fagon, you guys will fall apart. And President, we will be elected.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, you live.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead. You live.
Yeah, I just want to make a short statement that if Stanton not careful, that network may make it fall by YouTube. Let us all listen to the network carefully and we learn from there. By way of speaking, I'm Michael Josian, calling from Moldova.
Okay, thank you very much. Charles Brown, the guy who was in the middle of that.
Put him on.
Yeah, he's trying to come on. Okay, but we lost him. He just went off the line. So I don't know. Let me squeeze a call here while we try.
When you get back on, you can come on. Let's try to write this thing up because yeah, but just stay put because we got to talk to Chade. All right, I just like that song, you know, and we take into serious consideration what all the callers are saying. Dr. Richardson, with the permission given to me, thank you for allowing me to do my closing firstly.
I didn't give you permission of going from everybody.
Dr. Richardson,
there's a call on my line.
No, we're not taking your call. We're not taking your call. Your people there are terrible.
Oh,
you can't. They will start causing us here again.
Hey man, Siliki don't cause. They Siliki begin on cause.
Nobody said we shouldn't take call from private lines. That Dr. Francis said it.
Let it call the direct line. We're not taking your people
are we
call, man.
Closing arguments now.
Closing argument Spoon.
Closing comments now.
But let me do my. Yeah, because I really need to
close. We got order, that's why. But if you want to go first, that's fine.
Yeah, I beg you because the graduates will be home shortly, and I'm just looking through the window.
Sure, no worries.
I'm a proud father. The two of my beautiful girls got out of college. I got one more to attend. Next week in Pennsylvania, and I will say thank God. The last person will be in Europe. My son Sam will be graduating, and James Goodell Flomo also when that time comes. So no, but it's not now. They're working on this. Well, we happy. You know, that's the good news. And I'm just grateful to God that my daughter Aliyah came up, and I'm very, very grateful. I felt so proud today seeing her marching, and she graduated with honor. You know, she graduated with a great honor. I'm blessed, and I'm very, very grateful to God. All right. I don't know what Musa Benedict fussing with me. I'm talking to you guys. The man just texted me, fussing with me. But the man will be fine. He'll be just fine. Let me say this. Say what you want to say. This video from Brian, and I hope we can have him on the show tomorrow. And, you know, to help us understand what happened today at the Capitol building. When the people are tired, they are tired. Liberians are tired. We may disagree. Fagon may say stuff about Cummings. I may say stuff about Cummings. The Cummings folk can say things about Joseph Boakai, Magdalena Cooper, Mr. Freeman, Tawan Gonglo. It's okay. But the focus point is this government. Under President George Manuel, we are Mo, you're on our set, you're taking a long phone call, brother. Can we get your attention, please? Under President George Manuel, we had, you know, a lot of things. Stuff, go back and watch when he was talking about the Clarendon Spoke Park. Have you guys seen it? Abba, did you hear what the president said when one of his boys were talking to him? It's that the children will be happy to vote for him because he have given them place to play. He said the children are just running up and down here, but at least they will get place to play. He didn't talk about education. He didn't talk about the future of the children. But he just happy that he went to Senegal or somewhere and he saw the people playground and he said, I want to take it back to Liberia. He told the president, how can you let me take it into Liberia? If you give it to me, our people will, hey man. That playground that cost less than $1 million, he and the rest of them say it's $3 million. And he said he got it from Senegal. You can go to China and bring 3 wheels, 4 wheels, merry-go-round. That is not an achievement for the country that elected you for 6 years. And you want to add that to your legacy? The president grew up in Gibraltar. And that's the only thing he can give the people. And he's saying because he built it, the people will vote for him again. He doesn't care about the well-being of the children. When the mother had them, when he became president in 2017, they're now 6 years old. There is no foundation about whether they can go to daycare. And he asked him for another 6 years, and that child will remain in first grade while Joe Weah leave office, and that child will be 12 years old. If given another 6 years. Say what you want to say. The Liberians are immune when you talk about guns, bullets, killing, because Liberians will not accept or change in government by way of the bullets or by you scaring them because of different killing in the country. Liberians will refuse that. They will go to the ballot box. They will vote and they will remove you because they're tired of your poor leadership. Say what you want to say. This is very, very serious. And all Liberians should hear this. They will give you that 25 kg, give you 50 kg, give you $10, give you $20, and say, vote for us. There will no more road project. All that road money gone. No more road project. Nothing to say they pay the wire school fee. It's done. Everybody grabbing what they can grab to run with it. Liberians, you need to listen. So when Brown decided to direct the choir and say, Joe, we are go, it make you want to cry. Given the opportunity, and President Weah abused the opportunity given to him. President Weah turned his back on the Liberian people. Folks are going to bed now hungry. No farine to eat, no cassava. People go to hospital, no paracetamol given to them. But the president will spend $200,000 on a trip to go see the king coronation. No one investment have come under this leadership of President George Bernard Weah. Tell us one of the investment that the president brought to the country. If Ellen Johnson Sirleaf handprint wasn't on it. How much money Senator have borrowed from the World Bank, IMF, that they cannot give account for? They cannot tell you exactly. Raw fund money, gone. World Bank money, gone. IMF money, gone. Agriculture money from UN, gone. Forestry, gone. And you're asking for 6 more years? And you're asking the Liberian people for 6 more years? How dare you guys to ask for 6 more years? I will play this and I will leave because this is from Delon. I was watching Delon today. I was watching him today as he was speaking. And I began to think, I say, if you guys can just unify even more, Liberia will be a better place. Talk about Cummins policy, talk about Joseph Yima Barker, what he have done. But do not push them aside. If we want a better Liberia, you got to go back to that song. George Weah must go. By the ballot. You guys got to vote. George Weah must go by the ballot, by the voting process. And I think George Weah understanding it. When I listen to him, he said, if the people decide not to carry me well, it is. I told my cabinet minister, he said it to them. Change is coming. President Weah can smell the change. President Weah understand that the Liberian people are mad. President Weah begin to understand that he just want peace. And he need no more stress. Because Liberia must be saved. Liberia must be redeemed. President Weah understand that this job has overwhelmed him. Let's listen to Darius DeLong. And I know we'll continue this tomorrow.
Stormy and everything is coming to collapse. She said, you'll be calm, it will be okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
George Weah, in the first time he had made about 20 music. Hello? Hello? George Weah has made about 20 music. George Weah gets on the plane anytime he wants to go and stays anytime he wants to come back. And George Weah said it is okay. Yeah. If you give him second turn, he will make 30 music because he will say you were enjoying the first set of music. The only thing, however, George Weah has told me, without speaking to me directly, that Dylan, you please look at me, Samuel Tuet, and putting me on a hostage. You look at me and know my body language saying, you're going to put me back over there, I beg you. Let's rescue the man. Yeah. Two armed robbers enter a couple's home, tie the wife, tie the children, and say, Mr. My friend, one of us will go with you to the bank so you can withdraw money and give it to us. My friend will stay here with your wife and your children. If you attempt anything outside there, I will signal to my friend to kill your wife and your children. So you get it from me, let's go to the bank, you are normal to withdraw and give it to me. When I get it, I will tell my man to leave your wife and your children. And that man, on a hostage, goes to the bank and he's looking at the teller without talking, wishing that the teller is smart to know that withdrawal is not normal. That man can't report to the teller or the police because his wife and his children are in danger. So the only thing he's hoping for is the teller to just look at his body. The language that they withdraw here is not normal. George Weah is the one at the bank that you're the teller. You're the teller to look at Weah. Now there's someone saying, you the Nigerian people, you the teller. George Weah is saying, you please look at me. Second thing, you don't do it. And that is why we will not hesitate. We do not hesitate to keep the engine of the rescue mission on course to rescue this country. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, guys. That's my time. I want to wish all of you well, and we hope we can be back again to have a wonderful program tomorrow. You listen to Senator DeLong, Yombly Kanga Lawrence, Prince Moyi, the Rescue 2, Jeremiah Kuhn, Jane Banning, they were present, and it was a wonderful program. Liberians, you got to hear us, and you got to hear us well. The people will say what they want to say, but again, I will say this: whether it is Joseph Boaka, Alexander Cummings, Tewan Gonglo, Liberians, you desire a change, and you must accept the change. Another 6 years of President George Weah, there will be no Liberia, because they will set even the ground that you're walking on. If they can sell the blue carbon that they have not seen, why else they will not sell? You'll have a good night. Thank you, folks.
Who do you want to go after? If I go on, I guess, because we're going, if I go on, you, Mo Ali, Remy Gray, and Isaac Tupai, and I'm last.
All right, so let me go. I'll pick up from where Stanton ended. You know, we are in a country where many people are stranded. Many people are going hungry day by day. But there are just few who are brave enough to stand up and speak. And because the staffers at the legislature have got that leverage, the majority of them who attended that program today are staffers or senators. And some of them have decided that, look, even though we are civil servants, but what does it even mean? What does it bring to be civil servant and you're not getting your pay? And even though my man Gray say, Joey, I should look for them and sack them, that is to his detriment. He can go ahead sacking everybody. But there is one thing for sure: he will not sack what the people think. He will not stop the mindset of the people. If we want to advise George Weah to start sacking, we should advise him to start with his government officials who are not performing at all. People are supposed to be in their ministries working. They don't work there. The president now lives on 9th Street. 9th Street, right near the mansion. Instead of going to the mansion in the morning, the president drives to what a place named Jamaica Lodge. There where he works for more than 3 months. The president has not gone to his office. The people, Remy Gray, want to sack the president because he is not working. These are the people who go to vote. It is time for them to sack the president. The president has lost the right to sack people. He lost that right. We are in a country where there were 4 agriculture youth training centers in this country. In Tumutu, Bong County, the Tumutu in Bong, one in Clay, Bomi County, Panama in Sino, and another one in Bensonville. Since 2018, all of them closed down. All, not one is functional because the president is not working. If we are recommending...
Excuse me, Remy, Ava, can you keep the time, because the CEO in Liberia is texting me that...
If we are recommending for somebody to be sacked, let's recommend to the Liberian people to sack the president. And not those civil servants and staffers at the legislature who cannot get paid, even though they are making the sacrifices to ensure that the legislature is functional. Not the civil servants who are at the ministries and agencies who get up every morning, pay their way to go to work.
Seconds, Marley.
and the president does not go to work, him and his ministers do not go to work, then we recommend for them to be sacked. We will sack the president, you and me and everybody on this show. We will sack President Weah on October 10, 2023. And I will close by saying this. Again, an agreement or concession agreement voted for in the Senate is not voted for by the vice president. The vice president in Liberia does not have any voting rights. Besides that, lastly, to conclude, if the same concession agreement does not make
go on to
does not make all of them boogers. But if they are boogers, well, we have a government that should have rectified those mistakes.
Fagon, your turn, please.
Madam Moderator, I speak to the Liberian people. I know Asif Atuba said you can't come with facts. I just put plenty, including from Chevron.com. I'm tired of giving you all the resources that you don't want to look at and talk about. Cummings is tied to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is the one who ushered in George Weah. George Weah has messed the Liberian people up. And at the end of the day, they want to fire him. And the reason why you guys were the one that pushed me to explain all of this, let's go back to what I put in the chat room about Buchanan Renewables. And then go back to the Pan-African Capital Group. See them boasting about Buchanan Renewables. But what did Buchanan Renewables do to our people? Was Cummings not involved? We don't want to talk. Ellen Bebeki Osa today. But what I'm saying, we are in the opposition, but we are all not opposition. There is some that are supposition and there are some that are opposition. And while it is true that you guys don't want us to attack each other, you have attacked us sufficiently. And so what we did today is to prove, and the proofs are there. We could put them out forever. But let me close by saying to the Liberian people, there are sufficient evidence out there that I have put. In fact, because I have them in pictures, I will post them tonight on my page. I have worked with this government. I don't know why we did not audit Madam Sirleaf. I don't understand why Madam Sirleaf, who brought Cummings, is now chasing Cummings. But what I do know is this: the Liberian people are resolved that Ellen will not have a fourth term. Ellen had 2 terms. Her 3rd term was George Weah. Her 4th term, she intends to make it somewhere else. It will not be. A new sheriff is about to come to town. And that sheriff will be Joseph Boakai. Anything Liberian people choose other than Joseph Boakai will be Ellen's 4th term. Why it's true, I have my 2, 3, or 10 seconds left. Let me call on ANC people. Turn your guns to George Weah if you really want to fight. Any more rounds coming from ANC to question Boakai's record or anything you say about Joseph Boakai, the rest of what is to come out will come out. In the meantime, you ask for proof. I will give you websites. I will give you from Chevron. I will give you Bauma. I'll give you everything you want tonight to prove that Ellen has been running things in our country. And unless you guys
30 seconds, Mr.
in
Fagan.
ANC change, so long you protect Ellen's interests, we'll have a problem.
Thank you.
If Cummings Cummins come as his ume, I thought you gave me 30 seconds.
Okay.
If Cummins come as his
I'm warning
ume,
you.
then we will work with Cummins.
Thank
But
you.
if Cummins continue to work with Mount Elling, then he can continue because Mount Elling will make him endorse George Weah in the second round. Sorry.
Thank you. Remy Gray.
All right, clearly you can just sense the voice of cowardice, or the in Mr. Fangon's closing statement. I mean, he throw jibes at Cummins, then in closing, he wants the other side to observe the rules, and callers will call here after 2 or 3 nights. It's all on Cummins. Everything is about Cummins. And then when Cummins people want to strike, the callers and others who have been bamboozled, brainwashed by some of this falsehood Fangon propagates on his own platform, that's all the people know. That's why make our folks are so vulnerable. We ask you to seize some of the moments on what you put in their minds, because the mind is a terrible thing. It has a way of revolting based on what the ears hear. The fact about the matter is, you cannot come here and say the man who was number 2 in government next to the president, the only lifeline between the president and the legislature, the only guy who goes and lectures the madam about concession sign, the only guy who goes to lecture the madam about concession discussed in the Senate, whether or not she must agree or disagree. That is the guy you distance from the people that are supposed to bear the blame. And you're looking at a guy who is distanced out in the private sector, doing nothing. That's the guy. But then again, you pivot and say this guy got no governmental experience. I mean, some of this wishy-washy way of doing things sometimes, it's just disgusting. The thing about it is, we have to be able to know what we tell our people. And again, I did not use the word sack. What I used was those people who violated their code of conduct must be investigated. If found guilty, must be dismissed. And I will maintain that. Tomorrow, don't come back and say, we wanted Joe Buckeye, we got him, and don't complain. Because you know what? You already want it. You want it, as you wanted Mr. We didn't hear you. Whether you know book, you not know book, we'll vote for you. Yeah, that's it. You live with the consequences.
30 seconds, Remy Gray.
All right, that is it. The thing about it, make song about Georgia must go, Joe Buckeye must come, make the song. We'll be again to remind you tomorrow when something don't work, we'll say, well, this was what you wanted. If you can take the guy who you were singing yesterday to leave the corridor, today you want that same guy to come, I mean, it amounts to madness.
Remy Gray, that's it. Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes, Ava, go ahead.
Wonderful. Again, just to clear the air with people, if somebody comes and make claims, they got to be specific about the records. If you want to tie somebody to something, don't say because somebody was on a board and the board got a concession or they did this, that means the person is involved. Show the board minutes, show the decision-making process, show the alignment of that person with that decision. That discontinuity in what Eugene is saying about Mr. Cummins and his timing and all that kind of stuff. So be clear. When those 66 to 68 concessions you're trying to put around Mr. Cummins' neck, when actually it's an albatross around the neck of the vice president. Look, we can challenge records. That's fine. But be factual. Don't try to be fictional or to weave a story that has no concrete foundation, no concrete links or anything to that effect. We know for a fact the vice president was sitting in the legislature under his gavel when those 66 other 68 concessions, again, people can say bogus based on their definition. But some of those things were NC, meaning non-compliant. Some of them were PC, meaning partially compliant. Some of them just did not have enough information for any kind of, research. They refused to give the people information. So, and some of them were compliant. And compliant meant they met a certain standard. And it didn't mean like they were 100%. So people need to go to these things, these reports, and read them so they can understand. Okay, yeah. So let's challenge on the record. Like Remy was asking Stanton at some point, let every candidate, let's bring the records out. Whatever their achievement, whatever their demerit, whatever they serve, the accomplishment.
Your time's up, Ava.
That's the quickest time. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
But
sorry, Ava.
It's okay. The show was good. Let's try to keep it at this level. And I think, we'll keep pushing towards the substance, removing the vitriol, the negativity, the insults, and everything from the picture. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Ava.
when Kude is here, then I know everything finished.
I have to be harder on you and Mr. Gray, Ava and Mr. Gray, because there's a tendency of people to want to say that I'm biased because I support Mr. Cummings. So I got to be stricter with you guys. It was a great show. I appreciate all of the commentators, all of the people who were in the comment section, and all of the callers, despite that some of you mentioned, the role of a vice president and the Constitution, which I think is the most available information out there. Anybody can find it. So I wasn't really learning anything new. You can find that the president presides over the Senate. The vice president presides over the Senate. He votes only when, there's a tie. So nothing new. Let's stop repeating such information, because I hope by the end of the show, for the amount of times it was repeated, that we should know it. I want to say that if we want to just remove George Weah, for the sake of removing George Weah, I'm not interested, because it doesn't benefit the Liberian people. I'm not interested in removing George Weah just because we don't like him. He doesn't call us. He's not our friend. He fired us from a position. I'm not interested in the personal behavior of George Weah or the personal lifestyle, or for me to be popular with anybody. What I'm interested in is in the development of Liberia and in the interests of the Liberian people. So when we speak here about issues relating to how we can improve our country, I want a competent leader. I want somebody who, if you tell me this person is so powerful that they can bring investors to the country, that is the kind of leader that I want. Someone who can bring investors to the country versus a leader who will just come to the country, get elected, and don't bring any investors into the country. I want a leader that will say it is wrong for civil servant workers of civil servants to go and use a public space to endorse a political candidate. It is wrong. No matter where you go, which part of the world, it is just unethical and illegal. And even if Alexander Cummings, who I support, if he does that, I would say that it is wrong, because it is not about his personality. It is about the rule of law in Liberia, something that we do not do well. When people who have been in government for a long time, like the likes of Mo Ali, and it's unfortunate that he's not here. It's unfortunate that he's not here, but I hope he's listening. He comes and spin things around. When Remy Gray used the word investigate public servants, he used the word sack, that Remy Gray is calling for people to be sacked. That is an example of the falsehood that the likes of him and many others try to tell our Liberian people. Remy did not, at no time, I was listening very keenly. Remy Gray did not use the word sack. He thought that it was worth investigating. And when we say when we speak about the 66 Bogus Agreement, and people say, oh no, don't speak about that. Speak about CDC government. We have to go back to our past. Joseph Boca presided over the Senate when the 66 Bogus Agreement was passed. And I come and speak about that because I know the value of our resources. He did not mention in all of his engagement, in all of his speaking, he has not mentioned what did he say about those Bogus Agreement. He said he squandered opportunities. Were the 66 Bogus Agreements a part of what he squandered? And so Liberians, listen and listen well. We're going to have to talk about people who want to lead us and how they operated. Mr. Cummings was a businessman, a private citizen at the time, and if he brought investors to our country or was contributing towards bringing investors to our country, and he had that much power as some people would like to make us feel, great. Good for him. At least he was thinking in the right direction. He wasn't thinking about how to squander opportunities in the country for the Liberian people. When you're a taxpayer and you're paying leaders in our country, when you are a taxpayer and you paying leaders in our country, you should be mindful how they spend our money, how they spend the salary that you pay them. So no amount of fear no amount of phone calls, no amount of fear, no amount of interruptions, no amount of telling me I will expose Mr. Cummings will make me feel any different in terms of how I support him or what I support in terms of the rule of law in Liberia or the development of Liberia. So we can come here day in, day out. You can, any kind of threat can be made. That is not going to make me leave this show until I or my family decide that it's appropriate for me to leave. Thank you very much, Liberian people. And let's come back tomorrow and have an interesting discussion. Goodbye.
You finish?
Yes, I am.
She finished. The real show over. You have a good night.
Yes, good night.
So, Isaac.
Yes.
So the one